guys. Welcome to the podcast. I'm Brad.
I'm not even. I guess I don't have to introduce this week. Go for it, Brad.
I'm here with Nick and Nolan and Crispy. Y'all know them. And we're going to talk about video games. Starting
You didn't even say what episode. That's like the most.
Cloverfield Lane.
You didn't even say what episode it is. Hey, you know what? We could record a popcorn cast if we wait for everyone else to see it. I do want to see Cloverfield Lane.
There
You all
was a
have
very-
successfully convinced me.
I saw a very lengthy and serious article on the internet about how 10 Cloverfield Lane is not a realistic address.
Why?
It
can't be lengthy if it's something that's stupid, because that could literally be an address. Why can that not?
The article is breaking down about how it's not likely that would be an address.
The article's wrong.
Maybe you should read it.
Do you know how many stupid street names there are in this country? Or in the world, actually?
Just read the article.
I mean, because I was like, okay, well, I'm thinking like Cloverfield Lane. Well, that could definitely be.
I
street.
very much-
I was thinking of the house number. Oh, maybe because it's short. My aunt's house number, the number in front of her street name is 7.
But do you know that, you see like drives and parkways and lanes and stuff, like those mean something. Those aren't just like randomly added on street names. But is this really the podcast?
You started the show.
Okay.
I am the host.
I'm saying
I am the host, and you stole that from me this week.
Are we talking about city planning? What's going on?
Yeah, pretty much.
Welcome to the podcast, everybody. We will talk about 10 Cloverfield Lane, maybe on a popcorn cast, if Brad will give us some time.
Quick, Brad, what's the spoiler?
You should watch it. John Goodman?
Oh. That
Sold.
he's in the movie?
Is he supposed to be like the Cyclops, and that's why he beats him up?
I saw a picture of him. He lost like 100 pounds or something.
He did,
My God.
that's not recent. He lost that like a year ago.
Yeah.
Oh, so this movie had been kind of filmed for a while.
Well, or maybe, yeah. But I remember seeing him at some premiere or something, and he's
He's big in the movie.
Weight.
He's big in the movie.
Wow.
It's crazy though. You should see a picture of him now.
But he's like Lord Snoke.
What?
He said he's big.
He's got like a giant head.
This
long,
podcast is trash.
thin
We're
body.
starting late.
You're trash.
It got
Brad.
off to a crappy start. Let's just go home.
Speaking of getting off to a crappy start, why don't we talk about Hitman?
Oh, the award for best segue goes
That
to...
was good.
I've never got a standing ovation for my
you still haven't.
transition.
Actually,
Oh yeah, I guess we didn't stand. Nobody stood.
All right, so Hitman. Who's played Hitman?
I like to
played
believe
it.
that
I
Chris
played it. I
Davis
played it.
stood up in the other
I'm
room.
actually surprised so many people played it here.
Why?
Why?
We all
We
like
like
Hitman.
Hitman.
But no one's talking about this one because everyone's pissed off about this
Well,
release.
no one's talking about it because we've only played one level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Granted, I will say that level's very big, and also I want to preface this with I recorded this footage not knowing the frame rate was lockable, and so it's currently unlocked, which is why sometimes it looks fine, and then sometimes it looks janky as fuck. Because that's how I played it, and I played this game for like an hour and a half before I realized you could lock the frame rate, and it was horrible. And also the game crashed on me 4 times.
There's
On
technically
PC or
PS4.
PS4.
Yep.
there is technically 3 levels to this intro pack.
There are the two. Oh, sorry. Yes, there are 2 training levels, which if anybody played the beta, they played them then.
Are they, okay, they're the exact same levels.
Yes,
Yeah,
the exact same.
exactly.
The problem is,
Free
hold on. The
training.
problem is, unlike the beta, the first level of this, it forces you to do things. Like it's teaching you what to do, but it forces you to do them. Like
It wasn't like that in the beta?
No, in the
No, in
beta,
the
you could do
beta-
whatever you wanted.
Dude. No, in the beta, when the boat mission, the first time through, you have to do the mission the way they run it. Because I had the beta, and it definitely did
casted
that.
it. Go look at my cast. I didn't have to.
Well, then they changed it after the fact, because by the time
Wait,
I
did you play it on
downloaded
PS4
the
or PC?
PS4.
I played on PC the beta.
I don't
The
know
point
why
is,
it would
those
be
levels
different.
suck.
So okay. Anyway,
There's one real level.
Anyway, yes. So there are 2 training levels. The second training level isn't bad.
It's okay.
It's all right.
Yeah.
The thing I will say about Paris is that fucking level's huge.
Yeah, it's really
like
big.
holy shit. I played it multiple times, and there were times where I was still finding areas I hadn't seen before.
Yeah.
Like I was like, holy shit, I didn't know this was over here. Like this, and so a lot of people are poo-pooing on this because it's episodic.
Well,
And
we'll talk about the release
Okay.
structure in a minute because that's the. I mean,
Okay, so the game itself. One thing I will say is it's hard to tell off the bat just because we've only played the first mission or whatever, the first main mission.
one-
I like all of the setup going into it. I really like that you have, and now a lot of it's locked because you have to play farther in the game to unlock it. But like you can have them stash things here, and you can start with this weapon, and you can unlock this. It's almost like planning. You're almost to an extent planning out the mission. Like I want you to put this gun here. Kind of stuff like that, and I really like that.
Wait,
you can kind of do stuff like that in Blood Money, but
it was kind of do it, but it's very limited.
Wait, who's placing these guns in the world?
The agency.
The agency.
As you like play.
Why don't
the
they just kill the target while they're there? Please,
because
the
then there wouldn't be a fucking video game.
They
Nick.
plan it before the target's there.
As you do challenges in the mission, like complete specific objectives in the mission, they will unlock new starting locations for you. They will unlock new like drop points, like Nolan was saying.
So it encourages a lot of replayability.
But
Right.
it tells you though.
Yeah.
But like they should have that stuff just sort of grayed out or question marked. Like it says, if you do it this way, you can unlock this thing or whatever.
Oh,
right?
it tells you beforehand?
It tells you straight up what
I
all the
didn't
different
see.
challenges are. Well, like
Which I assume spoils the different ways
exactly.
that you can kill your
It
target.
spoils the different ways you can get to your target
just
and
didn't
take
look
out
at
your
that
target.
shit.
But I mean, that is what
There.
that is
Yeah,
what you
they're-
have to complete to unlock. I mean, you can't really avoid it. That's the thing.
I know what you're saying. And
Which, by the way,
whole-
none of that stuff. Nothing works in this game if you're not connected to the internet, except playing the basic mission.
Wait.
That's one of my biggest.
What do you mean nothing works if you're not connected to the internet?
That was going to be one of the biggest things that has frustrated me. The episodic thing is something I don't hate. Nick, you can't play this game if you're not connected to the internet.
What?
If right
Why?
now, if my internet were to conk out, it kicks you out of the game.
What? Why? What is the reason
You
for
have
that?
to be connected to the
You
internet.
can
purpose?
play offline the basic story mission.
If-
Now, if you're online and you lose your internet connection, it does kick you out.
No. If you're offline and you try and boot it up, it doesn't boot up. I tried it. Go watch
How
my
can
stream.
you play a game like The Division offline, but you can't play this on?
The first
offline?
like
can't
half
play
hour of my stream was me trying to figure out if
can't
there
play
was a
it.
way
What?
I could get it offline. And I tried unplugging my Ethernet cable while the level was loading. I tried, doing like a quick unplug and replug.
Were you doing a contract or
I was doing this mission.
but just the story part of it? Okay.
Uh-huh. I just booted up the mission and like no matter what. So the I guess that's why. So Nick, this game auto saves every once in a while.
Does it need an internet connection for that?
No, I'm just saying because if you lose your internet connection, you have to load up one of those autosaves, and hopefully you haven't done a whole lot or a manual save since then. But yeah, I still don't know why. I mean, they claim it's for like leaderboards.
Wow,
and
I-
blah, blah,
Because they
blah.
really want you to get a Square Enix
This really
account.
just pushed both the Division really far down my priority list
And-
of games to play because that shit's dumb.
And I assume a lot of it has to do with ensuring that the game is a legit copy.
Which
Well,
is their
I agree.
fucking
I agree.
fault for releasing it like
I'm
this.
I'm not condoning
my
this
God.
behavior. I'm just saying I think that might be one of the reasons.
Yeah, yeah, it's still like shitting in my mouth.
But no, it definitely is. And I like I said, I tried for half an hour to try and play this game offline, and it just doesn't work. Thankfully, the entire time I played it, I didn't have any issues with internet, and so I didn't get kicked. But I've heard of multiple people who their internet had a little flicker or whatever, and it kicks you out. And the thing is, the loading time.
I feel like
are
I'd be
not
playing
short.
this game like constantly on edge, like oh god. Like what if you're doing really well? Like I feel like every time I would start to do good, like start to be like doing a really good run, I would start to be worried that please don't have like a hiccup in my internet service, like because that would just that fucking
And
ruin
I'd say
everything.
the load
See,
times.
look at the fucking like that. This isn't the video. That's the game. It was doing that when like when it stutters.
Yeah, that's real bad.
So if
The
but if you
lo-
lock the frame rate, it's fine.
The load times in this game are abysmal, and it's frustrating because Hitman is a game where I kind of like to screw around.
Yes.
Like, you know what? Let's just see if I can pop them right here and just see the fallout of what happens. And you're like, it's probably not going to work out, but whatever. It's Hitman. You want to fuck around. These levels are giant, and whatnot. But because the loading is so bad, you're kind of discouraged from screwing around, which I think really kind of kills some of the spirit of at least the way I like to play Hitman. And some of these problems are frustrating because I think the core of it here
Look at this. Look, a chef messing with an oven makes someone freak out. That's kind of silly.
I think the core of it here is really good. I think at the very least, this game is a lot better than Absolution. You know?
Oh, yeah.
It does not have a lot of the problems I had with Absolution. This does feel like a spiritual successor to what a Blood Money. I mean, like it seems like what Blood Money 2 would be like 10 years after Blood Money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
like a lot of the dark humor. It is. I was a little worried about that with the beta because I thought those tutorial levels were kind of lame.
We talked
but
about
this
that.
level does. I mean, like you can absolutely dress up like a supermodel and do the runway walk.
Yep.
And like there's some silly stuff. Also, like the NPC dialogue, it's on point.
Oh my God,
it's got
it's
the
so good.
same like
It's so
stupid
good.
ass, funny ass, twisted like NPC dialogue that you remember from all the Hitman games, except maybe Absolution. And I love that stuff. I absolutely love that stuff. Now, my question for, I guess, Nolan and Crispy is, remember when I first played that beta, I had some complaints about this being a little too easy because it's so streamlined? Did y'all, like, Blood Money's a hard game.
It
Like,
is.
Did y'all struggle with this, or?
I mean, yeah, I did not.
Yeah,
I mean, so the beta, the very small levels, very short. This is not small or short, and like completing your task is definitely not easy.
Sure, it also checkpoint. It auto saves.
Yeah, it does auto
on
save.
the easiest difficulty on Blood Money, it still limited you to 7 saves.
Yeah.
For any given level, which was usually plenty, but that was the easiest difficulty. And as you went up in difficulty, it reduced the amount of saves that you could make manually. Now, after you do anything, it auto saves, like pretty much. So the tension is gone.
Well, you know what?
Potentially,
you know why
screwing
they
up.
did that? Because the fucking internet
I think
requirement.
that's why they had to do the auto saves.
Well, they did auto saves in Absolution.
Fuck,
but,
Absolution's not the fucking same, bro.
yeah, fuck Absolution.
So yes, I mean, if you want to be a purist, you can just limit your number of saves. I mean, you don't have to play it.
And for those people who are discussing it in chat right now, I just want to point out that my surprise in not being able to be connected to the internet while playing The Division comes from the fact that they were very hesitant to even use the word MMO when promoting this game. And for the longest time, it was like, is this game an MMO or not? I can't fucking tell.
Yeah, but it's
now that it's
Destiny.
finally out.
It's
Well,
the
now
exact
that
same.
I know, but like that wasn't even apparent until this beta came out.
This is a bit of an aside. I think being surprised that The Division requires an internet connection is one thing. Being surprised that Hitman requires an internet connection is something completely different.
Oh, yeah,
that
totally.
seems a bit
Totally.
weird, and that's more on.
So fucking frustrating too, because like the irony here is I think Hitman would be perfect as an online game. You know, you take the like Spy Party and kind of blow it out to like you know, a big ass Hitman level where you have like, you know, 3 or 4 dudes who they don't look like Agent 47, they just look like NPCs in the world, and they're kind of trying to complete tasks, and you're trying to complete your task, and maybe try to figure out who the other hitmen are and
That
take
would be
them
a
out.
totally different story. If there was anything as ambitious or as exciting as that, I would give no shits about requiring an online connection.
Why does that not exist? Especially from IO that really experimented with some alternate multiplayer ideas with Kane and Lynch.
I do believe I heard something about you being able to race other people. Like you can do a mission together, but you're in your own games.
Yeah.
Like trying to. But
Isn't that leaderboard stuff though?
I think it is probably in regards to that, but you should have to require an internet in that, not when you're playing the single player missions.
No. Well, yeah, that stuff you definitely can't.
So
do
this
without-
kind of all of these complaints and like the fact. So we haven't really talked much about the.
That's what I wanted to get to.
Well, we haven't
the
really
game
talked
itself.
about. Yeah, we haven't. Well, we haven't talked about the like the release structure like they've gone with here. But
before we get into more things we dislike about the game,
I know, but like all I want to say is this, and this is just like a byproduct of the way they're choosing to release the game, which we'll cover in a second. But like, I feel like this game going to be like when they've delayed the physical release of the game until 2017, right? You're going to be able to buy all the episodes on a disc once they're all out.
Yep.
Is there like I feel like that just means they're going to be like perfecting this game all the way to the point where at the
No,
very
they
end when you
will.
buy it on a disc, it might be like a much better game.
And no, it probably will. I guarantee you, this is a very long, drawn out beta.
Well, there is one other concern that I have though, and that's that I'm a little concerned about the value proposition here because you're paying $15 for this. You get the 2 tutorial levels in one level, and I'm pretty sure that there's 6 more pieces that are $10 each, and I'm pretty sure
They're all one
it's
level.
only one location each.
I believe that is correct.
That's a bad fucking deal.
I agree.
And don't buy the shit from IO about, well, you can do all the different contracts and you can you could set any fucking guard to be your target. That's not the
Here's a question,
Blood Money
though.
had 13 levels. and was, you know, a $50, $60 game.
So if it was
this is $75.
So if you bought a $60 disc and it had 7 missions, you wouldn't consider it to be like
Correct, that's not enough
seven large missions.
Correct,
like
that's
this?
not enough.
Okay.
No, that's horseshit. Absolutely.
Okay.
So
how long did y'all spend playing this one mission? I'm curious because, I mean, I just want like value proposition is kind of subjective. I mean,
and so yeah, someone came into chat and was asking me the same question. He was like, "How long is this?" And I was like, "That is subjective.
Yeah.
It's like how long is Ground Zeroes? You can beat that game in 8 minutes. You can probably beat this in like 3 minutes.
Yeah.
like how many $60 games we paid for that we finished in like 6 hours? Like
I know.
if you played this and got like 2 or 3 hours of experience out of this one level,
No, I don't. I think if you've been playing this for 3 hours, you're probably pretty bored. I mean,
It's debatable. So, and it's a matter of how much of the game do you want to explore? Do you want to find all the secret areas? Do you want
well,
to?
they're not giving they're not giving the players much choice because they're only giving them one mission at a time.
Yeah, and so I've played this level maybe an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours.
Yeah.
But that's just because I was fucking around. I was, finding different things. I was like, there's this one point I was broadcasting. I was like, man, I really need to get upstairs. But the only way I found so far is to find one of these particular guys, and they're hard to get into an area secluded. And I was like, if only I could scale the building somehow. Saw an open window, jumped out. There was a pipe going upstairs. And then when I got up there, I threw a pair of scissors at a guy's head and killed him.
See,
which was
that's
awesome.
fucking cool.
Yeah. But I mean, it's one of those things where I think it just because it's the first mission in the game that I don't know what's going on, that I'm taking so long playing it. I think once I get into the second one, I'll finish it much quicker because I understand the mechanics. I understand what things I can and can't interact with.
Do we think this is like? Do you think the missions will continue to get bigger?
So honestly,
I mean-
I don't know. This is, like I said, this is a pretty fucking big mission. Like the mission area is pretty large for Hitman. I'll say. I could see them in the future doing something to where it would be very easy to give you the same map and just change up, like Brad was saying, change the targets, change the objectives, change what's going on. And I think that might be something they end up doing, because that's a very easy change to do. Completely change paths of NPCs, completely change the style. They could even make this no longer a fashion show. Maybe they close off that and it's now an art gallery or something.
Wait, so are they totally doing away with that like limited time event thing they were talking about doing, where it's like everyone has a target like on this weekend?
I forgot about that.
Because that's what they were talking about doing when this game was going to be a very different release structure.
it's still not that cool, because once you've kind of learned, I mean, Hitman's pretty replayable, but like the problem I had with this level is that I found out that if you get the outfit of the male model, that's like the helmet, like you can go.
Did you do that?
You go anywhere you want.
Hold on, did you do that? Like upstairs on the 4th floor when you were disguised as him?
What happens on the 4th floor?
Like when you talk to one of your targets? See, that was awesome. Like I didn't realize who this helmet guy was.
The woman?
Yeah. No, so I found him. I didn't know he was someone special. I just saw him. I was like, I remember seeing someone like that going upstairs. I saw I poisoned his drink, followed him to a bathroom. I shoved his head into a toilet, drowned.
Wait, why did you poison his drink then?
So he
had to go to the bathroom.
Oh,
he
like,
didn't die from it.
I poisoned his drink and then followed
He went to go throw up, and while he was throwing up, I shoved his head into his own vomit and drowned him in it. Then I stole his outfit, and then I was walking around, and I got towards the upstairs, and they're like, "Oh, hey, helmet," and I was like, "Oh, this is someone special." And I go upstairs, and I find my target, and she's like, "Oh, helmet, sit down," and she gives me a contract to kill someone.
Oh, that didn't happen to me.
Yeah, I was like, "Holy shit!"
like at the party?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's like I think it. I don't know.
That's like
Because your target,
Hitmanception.
your target is like a spy master, and this helmet guy is one of her spies.
Yeah.
So if you go to her, I guess as him. I didn't do that. I found the Saudi prince.
Oh, that's what I will say about this.
If you dress up as him, you can go anywhere.
While I don't agree with how they're doing, I don't agree with the online. I do feel like there is, and they did release that one video. 37 ways to kill your target. I didn't watch that, and I'm like, probably some of them are stupid. But there is a shit ton of content in this one level. Now, that being said, if you just choose to play it once, find your target, kill them, and say you're done, this game is not worth it. If you were going to spend time exploring different routes, trying different things. I do think there is a lot in this.
I mean,
Yeah.
the only
if you-
problem I have with that,
It's a good Hitman level.
the only problem I have with the way they chose to do it though is that, you know, I may play the mission once, move on to the next one, and then do like. I may do all of them back to back, or I may do one or two back to back, and then decide to go back and play the first one. Like, rarely am I going to play a mission and then immediately want to replay the same one. What were you gonna say, Crispy?
I was just gonna say, if you look at
Just let Crispy get his fucking thought out.
All right. Well, I have an extension of what you were saying.
Brad was talking about how they have the different assassination challenges that you can complete, like
Yeah.
different ways to kill your target, and it does kind of suck that they kind of lay them all out for you, like all the different possibilities.
Do they tell you
I
how to
kind of
do
like
those
it.
though?
No, they don't tell you how to do them.
It doesn't change-
They just tell you that it's possible to do that. I don't like. I never would have thought of half of them if that list had never come up. 'Cause
Yeah.
I didn't, and I don't think I would have ever spent enough time with the game to figure some of them out. But some of them are like really fucking crazy. Like there's two targets in that mission.
Yeah.
They're partners, and like there's one where it's like eventually at some point they will be lined up. Like the lady will be on the 4th floor at a balcony, and you can push her off the balcony, and she'll fall onto the guy and kill them both.
Really?
Like that's one of the assassinations.
That's awesome.
So-
But you had to be told that.
In that regard, I
But you had to
kind
be
of
told that.
understand why they tell you, because there's so many fucking ways. If you're just playing it without that,
But
it
you
would
wanna
take
talk
you
about
forever
replayability.
to
There's,
play.
there's a lot of ways to do stuff in Blood Money.
I agree. I wish they wouldn't tell you up front. I wish you could maybe
Exactly.
unlock,
Exactly.
maybe spend some sort of currency to unlock hints to what
Yeah.
you can do.
Or
They-
that's exactly
well,
what
they-
Intel
Sorry,
was
yes,
in
that's,
Blood
that
Money.
is exactly what Intel was in Blood
I
Money.
also hate how there's no real like meta game to this, where lower ratings mean more money, mean you don't have to pay down your bounty, means you could spend that money on intel, on weapons. That system wasn't very balanced in Blood Money, but it was a damn good idea.
Yeah.
And it's really unfortunate that they kind of threw that out for this new like challenges unlocking system. What you said, Nick, is so true about how I feel, because I played this and I was excited about it, but like once I was done, like I don't have the compulsion to want to replay the same level over and over again. I want to go on to the next level and then the next level and then the next level, because I think the best part about Hitman is seeing what the next crazy scenario is going to be. And I have to wait a month like playing the same fucking level and over again just to get to the next one.
I think
but like what's good about Hitman is playing through the game and then playing through it again, and maybe like 6 months down the line playing through it again, but having to just one level to fuck around with the entire time sucks.
I think the biggest issue with their release structure here, and for clarification, their release structure, if you is basically it's episodic now. They're going to release basically a new level every month for how many months? 7 or 8 months,
Something like that.
And then in January or February of next year, they're going to release them all on a disc. Like, think of all the games that come out over the course of a year. Think of just the general video game, like the attention span of gamers playing new games, new releases. Like, even we play through new games all the fucking time. Like, once we've played 2 or 3 levels of this, like how do you think we're going to prioritize this, going back to this every month
so
after
you
month
You
after
could have
month?
that exact same argument about Telltale games.
Yes, definitely. And that's something with Telltale games. Usually I wait for them to be completely out.
Yeah.
Also-
like I'm like
I mean, I'm pretty used to the whole episodic thing now because of all the
and honestly, I feel like
adventure
episodic
games.
would work.
But
That's all story shit.
And that's what I was
the
going to
thing.
say. That's a story.
This
and
is a
you want to-
gameplay-driven
you
game.
want to know, oh my god, it's a cliffhanger. What's going to happen
Yeah.
next? I have to know. This is not what's going to happen next, because you have no fucking idea, because every level is completely independent.
Not to mention,
I do also kind of feel like, though, that what Brad was saying, like that excitement of seeing what's the next scenario going to be, that's probably what would... I'm the kind of guy who would play this mission maybe 4 times, put it away, forget about it until next month, and then a new Hitman's coming out, and I'm like, oh my god, what's this one going to be?
See, it's kind of
I don't know.
It's really hard for me.
I'm not
it's,
saying this is a perfect release structure
Sure.
for Hitman. I'm just saying
it is really hard for me to figure out though
I don't
too,
think it's
because
that.
like also I do play so many games that like I have trouble. Like, once I put a game down and then I try and go back to a game, like,
It can be
Nolan knows what I'm
difficult.
talking about. I've been playing Far Cry.
Yeah.
I suddenly popped in Dying Light, and I was fucking shit up left and right because I was trying to control the game like I was playing Far Cry.
Yeah.
And like, I'm not gonna like. I'm basically have to relearn the systems in the game every month because it's like I get my slate gets wiped clean pretty much
Well, it's
when
not
I
hard-
go from one game to the next.
It's not hard to learn how to play this because everything's context-sensitive button press.
That's true.
So it's not like sneaking up and lining up and getting your
But there's
wire
also
ready. It's easy
there's also
now.
a strategy to it. Like not maybe strategy isn't the best word, but like you have a real sense of how the world works, how the characters work, like what you should be looking for. Like those are the kind of things I'm gonna have to relearn. Like what kind of things should I be paying attention to? And maybe I'll in one level I'll learn like, oh, I can do this, and then I'll completely forget about it, and then like 3 or 4 missions later I'm like struggling to figure out how to do get to a point in the mission, and then be like, oh wait, I completely forgot. I can go out the window and climb up pipes or whatever, like Nolan said, but like I forgot about that because I put the game down for a whole month. Like that's the kind of shit that concerns me.
I really don't like the online requirements. Episodic, I can live with.
Like
I
episode,
can
I
live with
don't even
it.
have anything against episodic.
It's more the price with the episodic stuff that bothers me.
Well, and that's it sucks
If this
because
was like $5 per mission, I would buy the game twice. I'd pay $5 for every mission and then buy the disc at the
if
end.
you buy this first one, do you get a discount if you buy the whole game?
There is a $5
an
discount you can get if you buy the upgrade.
It's essentially $65 because you're paying 15 or wait, is it
15 for the intro.
15
And then
for this,
50 for the-
50 for the whole.
Yeah.
For the rest of them.
or you can pay
75
60 for the whole
piecemeal.
thing.
Okay. So, I mean, I don't know. It would be nice if if you bought the full one, you just paid $60. You know what I'm saying? It would be kind of nice if they did that.
Can you actually buy this piecemeal? Like, if the next mission comes out and everyone says it sucks because you're running from a helicopter or some dumb
you
shit,
skip it
like,
and
can you
then-
just skip it and do the next one?
Just
think-
buy next.
I wonder.
Good question.
Because I don't think you could.
I don't know.
That would be dumb if it didn't work that way. I mean, these are the kind of things that doing it in an episodic structure should allow for. Like, if you're not going to let people make those kinds of decisions with your product, why even do it like that?
$8 a level, I would have maybe been okay with.
So how much is it per level?
$10.
$10, yeah.
And wait, but there's 7 or 8 missions.
Yeah, there's like
There's
MGS
6 more missions.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. This is gonna be the most expensive Hitman game ever.
I mean, I think it really just depends on how good it is and then how much content they add apart from the story missions. If they add decent content, if they add, like I was saying, new ways to play the levels you've played before that completely change it, I could see it being worth it.
I just feel like a lot of this release structure is stemming from the fact that they're buying themselves more time to develop the game itself.
Probably, yeah.
I'm worried about the post-launch support on these other missions because they're going to be too busy trying to finish out the rest of it.
They need to design this game differently. The problem with replaying these levels, like, it's clever a few times to try to figure the things out, but the thing is, like, Helmet comes in the same place every time. You know, like the key people, you walk in, the target walks down the steps every time.
In that regard, the same thing happens in Blood Money.
No, you're absolutely right. What I'm saying is I think they need to kind of rethink the way they design these levels and to kind of take more of a roguelike approach where they could be in different places, like completely different places at any given time.
So that's what I was saying. I hope they do. With technology, with this always having to be online, it means they could easily update the game and change something like that. And I really hope they do something like that. I think that would really make a huge difference if they were to just, like you said, change the path of the AI character. Could completely change how this game works. Yeah. Your target. If they could just change the path of them.
Yeah.
And I think that'd be something. And I say it's easy. It's not that easy. There's a lot that goes into that, and that can cause a lot of bugs. And so that's probably not the first thing on their list. But I don't know. I will say I did enjoy, money aside, online aside, I did enjoy this level. This Paris level.
It's a good level.
I'm really upset because I really, really genuinely want to play this.
Not just, I'm upset because this is the return to form, and they're fucking it up in every which way.
Yeah.
Like in ways I didn't expect. They're fucking this up. They finally got it right again. And they're it's like Absolution was Devil May Cry 2, and they're like, oh, okay. No. We fucked up. We know what we did wrong. We're going to go back to basics with Devil May Cry 3. It's going to be even better. Like, this is the situation here, but they fucked it up in so many other weird ways. It's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. It's probably Square Enix's
Like, I was kind of like,
Square Enix.
like I was kind of hoping to like maybe be able to play like 1 or 2 missions, and then I'll buy the disc next year or something. Because like how am I going to even think about? That's what I've done. Like I've already like I'm kind of decided I'm going to wait for the disc, but at the same time, like I guess I don't get to even take this into consideration at the end of the year for like Game of the Year stuff.
It's not even just that. It's that I think Hitman is that. What's great about Hitman?
Big Baz, I love the Jeff Goldblum reference. Big Baz.
What's great about Hitman is not necessarily sitting down and I'm going to figure out every single one of these ways to beat it and I'm going to be done with Hitman. It's that Crispy and Nolan and myself can all do it completely different ways, and we can share our stories. And because you're waiting, you don't get to be in on that conversation. So that's a little frustrating. Yeah.
Like I considered maybe just buying the first episode, but like still it's 1 level. Like I would buy 1 episode if it was like 2 levels, and then just leave it at that. Like play that, decide that I like the game, and just wait.
In that regard, technically there's the 2 intro missions.
Yeah.
Which are very small. So the first one's very small. The second one's like a little bigger.
Are we 100% sure that each mission after this is going to be 1 level?
Yes. Those 2 were literally those are the ones that were in the beta that were literally teaching Agent 47 how to be a hitman.
Yeah.
So that's what those were.
I mean, that's what I thought, but like, if there was 2 missions per chunk, like I'd buy at least 1 of those so I can get a feel for the game, decide if I like it or not. But I'm not going to pay
like I
$15
said,
for
if
1
there-
level.
If there are 2 missions for chunk, I think it'd be a great
if
deal.
they're all this big though, that's pretty big.
$10 though.
I'm not saying $10
Let's
is a good
wait.
thing. I'm just saying this is far bigger than any blood money mission.
Well,
Yeah.
All
I mean,
of the NPCs aren't just fucking like the problem with Blood Money was it was on a console that had a hard time controlling it. So like half of like when you were in
The casino was
in
pretty
the
big.
casino, yeah, the casino was big. But when you were doing like the mission and like for like during Mardi Gras, like
Yeah.
all the people on the streets, you would just like walk through them and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
wow.
I mean, everything in here is like you can interact, and some of the like I wish there was more of it, but some of the people you can actually talk to, there are people like NPCs you can have conversations with and stuff like that. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, it's been 10
like,
years. So
Like, what if the next level is like twice as big as this, and you're like, holy shit, that's a huge level. I could play that, but I haven't played the tutorial, which is part of Chapter 1, so I don't even know how to play the game.
if the levels are really getting that big, then they need to set up like 2 completely different scenarios in that space or something.
And that's what I was saying. That I think that would be something easy for them to do to extend the life of the game.
Yeah. So, once again,
Literally double the content.
like we played the beta, and it was like, well, I guess we'll find out. I guess we'll really find out how it pans out when the game actually launches next month. And now that the first episode's out, it's like, well, I guess we'll have to wait and see how episode 2 is to figure out how this really pans out, because I still don't have a feel for what this game, like how the value of this game is going to look, because we've only seen 1 episode. We only have 1 mission to base
and
it
you
off.
never have to evade the police.
That's good. That's at least you don't have to evade the fucking police. That would truly suck.
Yep.
All right, let's talk about something. I hope that didn't come across too negatively, because there's
No, it did.
positivity to be had.
I think, like I said, I think overall I'm mostly positive.
Yeah.
On the game as a whole, not so much. What I played, I really enjoyed, and I am going to play it again. I'm
How
going
did
to
you kill
play
your
the mission
target?
again.
I want to know, Brad. How did you kill the target? I want to ask each one of you how you killed your target.
Like the first time I killed my targets, like the woman. So I got a fireworks thingy to set off the fireworks, and the woman who's walking upstairs, she goes out to the balcony and goes, "Huh, who set off the fireworks?" And she smokes a cigarette. But if you like wrench the gas, there's like one of those heaters, like
yeah,
the
like a
outside
space heater,
heaters,
yeah.
and I tweaked it to where like it started spewing out gas.
So when she lit her cigarette?
she lit her cigarette, she exploded. I had to do a lot of other tricky stuff to get that set up, but yeah. And the guy, this was the first time I did it. The guy who he walks down the runway at some point, and I was dressed up as helmets, so I decided to walk down the runway with him, and there was like a couple other people, and I was like, and I was on the runway. There's all these people around. I could see the front door, and I was like, fuck it. And I put down a landmine, and I jumped off the stage and blew him up, and just ran out the front.
That's pretty rad.
They knew I did it. They saw me plant the landmine. Everyone lost their shit when I did it. But I jumped off in time. I blew them up. It's like a proximity mine or something.
Yeah.
And I just ran out. Nice. But I mean, that's how I like to play Hitman sometimes. I like to screw around. And that's when Hitman's moments are at its best, when you're coming up with some crazy plan and you open a door and you're face to face with your target and you're like, fuck it. That's Hitman at its best, in my opinion.
Definitely.
And just adapting.
Nolan, how did you kill your target?
So the first guy, he went up to the bar to get a drink, and I was like, I could poison his drink, but then I noticed he was standing under a chandelier, so I just rinched the chandelier and it fell on him, and I killed a bunch of innocent people.
But you did what to the chandelier?
And there's like its own like a
there's like a pulley.
Yeah, and I just like broke it and it fell onto him, and then I had to run in the kitchen and hide for a while, and then that's when I found Helmet. And I poisoned his drink, fell into the bathroom, disguised as him, went upstairs, had the conversation about the lady, took the cyanide from her, and then she apparently had to take a phone call. And so as soon as she got up to take a phone call, I just pulled out my gun. And she was like, "What are you doing?" And then I shot, and I shot all around her. I just missed every shot.
It's really hard to aim.
It's not.
They don't
easiest.
want you to play it as a shooter.
Yeah, they don't. And so I finally shot her in the head, and then I ran outside, and there was a helicopter in the back, and I just got in it and flew away.
Nice.
It was funny just because the guards were standing next to the helicopter, and they just kind of looked at me as I got in and flew away.
Oh, he's good.
Yeah.
Crispy?
So the guy, I dressed up as one of the bodyguards walking around the party. And there's a gentleman at the party who's there to meet with him, to do business with him.
With the bodyguard?
No, with the target. And if you what did you say?
Sex. Go ahead.
That's his name.
Set.
Oh, okay.
No,
Anyway,
that's what they were going to meet up for sex.
Yeah, and then you can overhear him. He has a conversation saying that the target told him to just wait at the party, and then one of his security guards will come get him. So, as the bodyguard, I went up to the guy and was like, "Hey, so and so wants to meet you now," and you lead him over to a pagoda in the middle of a hedge maze, and then he calls that guy and says like, "Okay, well we're doing this. Like I'm here." So the target comes out. They have their little meeting in the pagoda, and then completely bonehead move on this guy's part. Once the deal's over and everyone walks away, he sends his personal bodyguard away. And is like, I want to savor the moment. He walks over to a balcony by the river to have a cigarette, and I just walked up behind him and shoved him over and killed him. And then the woman, she's upstairs running an auction for like all these like crazy
Rich
people.
people,
Yeah,
yeah.
she's like
You
selling.
can sit in on that.
Yeah, she's like selling military intel and shit like that to all
you
these
bid on
people.
I don't know.
And I went upstairs. I found that Saudi prince who, like, nobody knows really what he looks like because he doesn't show his face often. So I went into his room, took him out, took his clothes, and I went to the auction as him. And her auction is run from her office on a little computer. And you can actually sneak into an area, find this little hardware key, like a little dongle, and use that to fuck up the auction after it's already like started. So once the auction started, I fucked it up and waited for her to come back into the office to fix it. And I just stood behind the door with my gun. And when she walked in to go to her desk, I just like popped her in the back of the head.
See, that's
And then-
slick as shit.
And then I walked outside, got in a speedboat, and drove away.
all these stories that you ran out the front door, you got into a helicopter, and you just jumped in a speedboat. See, all three of those stories are vastly different.
And like-
that's the best
like
part
I
about
was
fucking
saying,
Hitman.
Issues aside, it was a great fucking mission.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really well put together. Like running.
And there's so much you can do.
Yeah. And then after I finished the mission is when I went and looked at all the like achievements for like what like ways you can kill your target. It's crazy.
The way the NPCs react to Helmet are great.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Everyone
like, oh
loves
man,
him.
he smells good. Yeah, it's fun.
Cool.
We
All right.
talked a lot about him.
Yeah, we did. I wanted to briefly mention Dying Light
Yeah.
because Nick and I both finished the following.
Man, that was so funny. Like, we're doing missions. Like, it didn't even occur to me that I was like, we've been fucking around. We haven't done anything. And then we go to do a mission and we open a door and it's like, you're about to enter the final area of the game or
We
whatever.
were both like, what?
And we're like, what?
I
Like,
didn't
the game
realize.
was just ending.
Yeah.
And not to mention, that was the weirdest thing. We're playing co-op and you go up to open the door and it's like, the final area of the game. I know why they did it, but then when you first read it, like you go to open the door to do the mission, it says you're about to enter the point of no return. This section is single player only.
Yeah.
And it split our co-op match, and we were still in our party. We were both playing the game separately.
It was like that in the single player as well. The final mission you have to do. But yeah, so I mean, it was kind of weird, just because it's, once again, when you play a game,
It was kind of cool, both of us playing it
At
and
the
like
same time,
hearing
yeah.
each other's reactions.
Yeah.
Because Nolan was ahead of me for a bit, and
I was ahead of you by maybe 5 minutes.
Nolan, like, something scared the shit out of Nolan. I
It
was
scared you too when you saw
Yeah,
it.
and I was like, oh god.
But no, so the final mission was kind of cool. I don't want to spoil it, but I will say The Following was a fantastic piece of DLC.
Dude.
It was
Yeah.
on point. It was good. Rocket League is getting buggies. It's getting
Yeah.
The Following buggies.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I
Rocket
mean,
League is-
basketball too.
Rocket
Yeah.
League is getting like a little piece of everything,
Yep.
which is crazy.
Everyone wants a piece of Rocket League.
We're gonna get a little piece of Rocket
So,
League.
but yeah, Dying Light, The Following, a lot of fun. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not really much I can say was bad about that experience.
definitely not. Still best played as in co-op.
Yeah.
I played a new game.
It's cool because I played all of Dying Light single player. Still really, I enjoyed it enough to put that in my, like, I gave that my number 2 of the year last year. I
Yeah.
love that game. And then managed to play The Following almost 100% cooperatively with you and Jaeger and MGS. And it was almost like a completely different experience, and it was amazing for like
And I will say
different
that to an extent, almost The Following, I think you almost have to play it co-op, especially if you're going to take on some of those like bosses you encounter,
Yeah.
because they are ridiculous.
Dark
even
Souls
with
bosses.
like even with like 4 people, when we never managed to take down that behemoth guy,
yeah.
it was ridiculous. Like there's some pretty intense shit in that game. But
Speaking of Dark Souls bosses,
oh yeah,
Oh no.
I played a little new game today. We need to talk about.
Called Dark Souls.
It's called. Might as well be called Dark Souls. It's called Salt
Flat
in
Souls.
Sanctuary.
So we've been
It
seeing
is the new game by Scott Studios. You might know them as the guys that made the game we played
Dishwasher.
as that band. What was that called?
I don't remember.
That band.
The one that came out a couple of years ago. It's the Brawler. It was all grungy. What was it called?
I know what you're talking about. I just can't remember the name of it.
We've been seeing Salt and Sanctuary at trade shows for a while now.
It's been a while. Yeah.
This is 100%, not 99%, 100% side-scrolling Dark Souls. Demon Souls. It's a Souls game.
Yep.
Like, down to the details.
Yep.
And, it's... No.
Is it gonna get shit for that? I want to know. I want to know. That's the real
The reason
I don't
it's not
think
going to
so.
get shit for that is because, 1, it's side-scrolling, and 2, it's Dark Souls. And people... Charlie Murder.
Charlie Murder.
People love Dark Souls.
Do they though?
Yeah, they do. And this is just,
Just a bit.
this is a new perspective on it, literally. It's okay, so you know everything that makes Dark Souls awesome?
Yeah.
This game has.
And more
Well,
to an extent.
it has one less
Season.
plane.
Oh, well,
George is getting salty about this game. He's
wait,
getting
what?
salty. He's sorry, opposite. George is loving this game apparently and taking stabs at Dark Souls, which is not surprising because
Taking
Apparently-
stabs at Dark
once
Souls.
again,
George isn't a big fan of Dark Souls apparently.
Oh,
once
that's a
again,
boner.
this game takes some of the small issues that Souls games have and kind of fixes them, just because it's easy to do in a game like this, especially with an indie studio who doesn't have to look up to some publisher. They can just do whatever they want. And so yeah, they have little things here and there. To
I have a
kinda
question.
just-
Things that we love about Dark Souls. Does this have
Yes.
really awesome lore?
Yes.
Does this have
Every little piece of equipment, every single node in your skill tree that has
Are we
like
gonna see the skill
1,000
tree here,
nodes.
Brad?
Yeah, like 5 minutes of it. Like 1,000 nodes has lore.
Yeah.
does this game
The skill
have,
tree is kind of like the sphere grid.
Yeah.
From Final Fantasy X.
It's pretty much the sphere grid.
Nolan had me at Sphere Grid.
Yeah, it's
Does
straight
this
up
game
just-
have shortcuts?
Yes, absolutely. Just like Dark Souls shortcuts.
Does this game have a big wolf holding a sword in its mouth?
Probably.
Well, I wouldn't
I
be
have fought a
surprised.
couple of bosses, very Dark Souls bosses. Very challenging, very cool, very tense. Like the spirit. Like everything that makes a Souls game great is in this game.
So is this a love
and it
letter
has
to-
the same hooks too, where like oh my god, like the details, like the way the weapons are laid out, the way that you have dexterity based weapons and strength based weapons, and the weapons have like strength scaling and dexterity scaling. It's the exact Same. This is Souls.
It's classic Souls, not so much like Bloodborne.
No,
but
not
the,
Bloodborne.
To the
Bloodborne's not even an RPG.
to the extent that like you find a weapon and like, oh, it's really good, but if I equip it, I'm going to get burdened by my weight.
Yeah.
And so I can't
Equipment
maybe do
burden,
it yet. Maybe.
fast
But you know what?
rolling,
Maybe I'll
slow
take
rolling.
off my helmet so I can use this weapon. You know, stuff like that. Like
I can't play this game right now, guys. I'm playing Dark Souls.
This is so fucking good. I'm telling you. I'm really enjoying this, and it has its hooks in me the way that a Souls game does. And I'm thinking about builds. I'm thinking about weapons.
Are you playing on
I found
PC?
There's fall damage.
Are you playing on PC?
No, I'm playing on PS4. It's only on PS4 right now.
How much is it on PS4?
$18, I think.
Hey, that's a weird price.
Yeah, it is weird.
Fuck
But
it.
it's so good.
It was
it's
on
so
sale
good.
for Plus.
And you might be thinking, well, you know, I struggle with Dark Souls. Maybe I'll play this. Like, it's challenging in a lot of the same ways.
Yeah.
But
There's traps. Like,
There's traps, there's
set off traps
ambushes.
in the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
So is this like straight up like a love letter? Like, was this game made out of reverence for Dark Souls?
Absolutely.
Definitely,
100%.
definitely.
I talked to the guy, and I was like, dude, okay, we need to talk about this. This is Souls. And he's like, yep, I love Souls games. So I made one, pretty much. This is what he said. The thing I told him at E3 is the thing, is like, dog, whips suck in all the Souls games. This game has a whip. You better make the whip not suck. And he's like, the whip's going to be good.
Have you played with the whip?
I'm a strength build, man. I'm having the same fucking problems I have in Souls games. I always go strength or faith.
and you
I never
always
go
regret it.
dexterity
You always
builds.
regret it, Brad.
Well, it's because I like blocking. I like heavy armor. You know, I like to.
I'm gonna play a dexterity build. Fuck you, Brad.
I mean, I love having a shield again since I didn't get to have that in Bloodborne.
Yeah.
Like I totally just like fought this boss by just strategically kind of like guarding and letting off the guard at the right time and getting in a hit here and there and kind of staying defensive, and it felt exactly like fighting a Souls boss, and I loved it. But you know, I feel like if you're going heavy armor and shield, strength builds just make more sense. But
Fuck, I'm playing this.
it's really
Game
good.
doesn't pause when you go into the menu.
Oh,
No,
shit. God, look at
there's
that.
rings. You can equip 4 rings.
I really like the art style too.
Even the HUD looks a lot like Dark Souls.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's fucking crazy. And there's souls, and you got to go get your souls if you die. And
It's not Souls, Brad. It's Salt.
Oh, sorry, salt.
it's Salt.
You gotta get your salt.
But
Gotta
even
get
like
yourself-
little things like, do you see on the very bottom left, Nick, that white bar?
Yeah.
That bar shows you how much salt you have to your next level.
Yeah.
So once that bar fills, you know you have enough salt to go level up if you want to, which is really cool because that was kind of what, like in Souls, you never were quite sure. It's like, do I just want to get one more level before I go fight this boss, and you just kind of like if you don't remember. So I mean, it's like little tweaks here and there that make a difference. And so
Is,
something that Brad discovered when he was capturing this footage.
Oh, secret. Look at that.
Yeah,
There's lots of
of
secrets.
those. Right after this
Hidden
was
walls.
there are sanctuaries, which are kind of like the bonfires.
Yeah.
They're like safe areas, but you have to like, what's the
Be in that
term?
covenant
Yeah,
or
you have to be
something.
like it's like not like say an oath. Like what is the word I'm looking for? Like
like take an oath.
Take an
Pledge-
oath. Thank
pledge
you.
it.
Take an oath. Pledge your loyalty to this covenant, and you can only do it to one at a time. And I don't really know exactly what happens if you do it to pledge one when you already at a different one. But Brad stopped at a sanctuary
That wasn't my God.
his covenant, and he actually lost his like Estus.
There's Estus flasks.
Yeah,
They're not called Estus flasks.
no,
I
they're
assume.
not. They're called
Something else.
I have a
flasks.
yeah,
question.
red flasks.
I have a question.
What's
Is
up?
From Software going to be salty about this?
They probably should be. I don't know. It's 2D, so you got to kind of let it slide, right?
I mean, what if,
That's the thing. I mean, what's it called? What was that? Lords of the Fallen was a lot like a Souls game, but this is down to the details.
what if From Software was secretly behind the scenes working on a 2D version of like Dark Souls?
Well.
Like, what if they were straight up making like a Dark Souls side project that was straight up like
They
2D?
had-
Well,
They
then
had that
these
stupid-
guys could sue From Software
No,
for
there
copying
was
their
a
game.
2D. There was a 2D Dark Souls game. There was that stupid pre-order thing for Dark Souls 3 called Slashy Souls or something.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Oh, that's a mobile
it's
game. Isn't it?
basically
God.
no. It's like it's basically like Bit Trip Runner, but
Mm.
Yeah.
that is terrible.
Man, I tell you what though, I'm really excited. I want to play this.
It's really good. It has, and like the combat feels really satisfying. Just to thwomp enemies, man, it feels good. You got to watch your stamina meter. Oh man,
Fuck yeah!
it's really good. And Dark Souls 3 comes out in a few weeks, so
Yep.
great.
I wonder how
Just
long
in
this is going to
time.
be though in
I
comparison.
don't. I mean,
to...
this thing feels meaty.
What if I play this and I
And
beat
the
it?
fucking style, dude. Like when bosses are introduced, like
Yeah.
it this shit looks cool. And the music, man, you just start hearing like guitars, like welling, like. Man, like it's atmospheric as fuck, but it's cool. Like I turned the sound effects down so I can hear the music blasting.
Man, this sounds perfect for Brad. It's like Metroid's dead, but here you go. Here's a Dark Souls.
This is
Soulsvania.
Well, I mean that's the thing. I've always kind of like the Dark Souls is what like 3D Castlevania is done right.
Yeah.
This is sort of reappropriated back into like 2D Castlevania.
Yeah.
And now it's like what maybe 2D Castlevania should be in a post Dark Souls world. It's crazy.
Cool. I'm
so
excited.
good.
I'm gonna
It's
play
Do you
it.
think maybe what's it called will be kind of like this? Blood and...
Well, Bloodstain's probably gonna be a lot more
Bloodstain?
like Symphony of the Night, but
Yeah.
I'm sure that game will be good.
Nothing quite like a good 2D
So this is like a
side-scrolling.
sanctuary
Yeah.
where you can spend your salt, which Brad just did, and then you can look at. He's gonna pull this is the skill
God.
tree.
It's like a sphere grid.
Oh
like
my
a
god,
lot-
it's a fucking sphere grid.
Yeah, it's straight up sphere griddy.
Oh my god.
But like I think you zoom out here in a few seconds.
I want
and it's
everybody
fucking
to Sphere Grid is one of my
you-
favorite RPG.
This is nothing. You know, each one of these nodes you can put 3 levels into.
You put well, not all of them. Some
Fuck.
of them, right?
you, Brad.
Well, all the stat based
Stat-based ones, yeah. You can put
Yeah.
multiple like points into.
I don't
each
even.
of
I
them.
guess that's for like new game plus, which I think this game has.
Yeah.
Dude, that's exciting. I'm gonna download this tonight. This is sweet.
Yeah.
I love the fucking Sphere Grid. It's Dark Souls with the Sphere Grid. That I'm sold. All right, cool. We'll talk more about Salt and Sanctuary, I'm sure, in future shows when we've all had a chance to play it. Crispy and Nolan, what have y'all been playing?
I don't want you sleeping on Salt and Sanctuary, Crispy. You'll love it too. You just haven't seen that hyped.
What? Are you the fucking hype police?
Yeah, a little bit.
You fucking
know,
telling me what I can and cannot be excited for?
on your
Crispy
doing
doesn't
that
have
for a
enough
while.
room for more hype
guys
because he's
don't know.
all hyped out for No Man's Sky.
I'm actually just really short on money this week, and I spent the last of it on Hitman, so it's gonna take a few days, but I get paid this weekend, so.
I've been playing another game a little bit.
All right, Nolan. I want you to give us a brief
Briefs?
discussion of Senran Kagura.
Why's it gotta be brief?
Estival versus.
What if I want to talk about this game for like half an hour?
I don't want you to talk about this game.
We just want to watch the footage. Roll the
fucking footage. What if
Let's
it just
sit here in silence and watch the footage?
like it's like a 10-minute just silent sequence in this podcast where we're just watching boobs.
So, so I will say that
First
is the,
girl on screen, huge boobs.
one of the very first thing when you load up the game is it literally is black and then just two sets of boobs come in.
How did Nolan? How did you become the person who plays as Senran Kagura? What?
It was when I got my PlayStation TV and I was like, "Hey, what are good Vita games?" And MGS sent me there we go.
sent
me the previous game in the series, which was Senran Kagura Shinobi versus.
Forever.
And so all the Kagura games follow these same people, but I don't fucking remember them. So the thing with the Vita game was you had to play it multiple times. There was multiple stories, so you would play through it from each school. There's a set of girls who are each in their own like ninja school. They have different styles, so they fight differently. This one school focuses on like guns. This one focuses on like blade-based weapons, kind of stuff like that. And so I only played through one story of Shinobi Versus. I played through the entire thing, but then it unlocks the other. So you can play through the other schools, and so I didn't do that. So I'm only actually familiar with characters for the most part from one of the schools. Like these characters are kind of new to me.
I don't like the one on the right.
Because she's not smart enough for you.
Just saying.
This one's actually there's a story to this game. This girl is dead. And she got brought back to life. So the whole thing is, all of these shinobi are their grandmother takes them. Oh yeah, she has fucking guns, and they're like
she does.
Each hand has 2 guns, like kind of upside down.
All right, this actually looks
they're
pretty
like,
rad.
Dude, the combat's fucking awesome in this game. And so
This
they're
looks
like,
way more advanced than the previous.
oh my god, yeah, dude, it is light years above the Vita game, but that's because it was a fucking Vita game.
This looks like some Devil May Cry shit.
Dude, it's pretty fucking
still
good.
A little more. I'd say a little more Dynasty Warriors.
She's shooting her guns in different directions.
Yep, and then the enemy froze me, and I'm still shooting. But yeah, and so one of the cool things is, there's transformations and stuff like that. And so when you transform, obviously it changes your outfit, and you can do different combos and stuff. So
what happens when it changes your outfit, Nolan?
It depends on what your outfit is. You can set it in the dressing room. You can set your outfit to different things. So you can actually make them less scandalous if you want to.
If
you choose.
If you choose.
So anyway, this is my first time using this character, and that's something with this game. Every battle I've been in up to this point, I've used a new character, and they all play completely different because they have different weapons.
You know it's coming, Nick. You know it's coming.
I'm sorry, I wasn't expecting all of her clothes to burn off.
This is my first time playing her with the guns. I haven't played this one, so I'm trying to understand her attacks. So for the most part, they're the same. The enemy's doing her transformation.
What the fuck? Oh my god. Dude, oh my god. Alright, I'm playing this. I mean, okay, I'm gonna be honest. I'll be honest. Like,
but she's a ninja, but she wears a dress and has a shield and a rifle.
The combat looks awesome.
This is a really kind of loose styling of.
Well, that's
ninjas.
the thing. Like I said, they're different schools, and so they're all completely different. So these two are from the same school.
Around like that?
Yeah, these two are from the same school, so they both use.
Come on.
So now you know why. After I played this for 2 hours last night, I wanted to take a shower because I feel so
dirty.
Yeah, I do.
Masturbating.
so masturbating.
I was just covered. Do you understand? Oh my god. I mean, I'll be honest. I'm sorry. It's really hard to focus right now.
What's up?
There's people that take this series very seriously.
I know. And you know what? The combat looks rad. But you know what? I've always
not because of the combat.
I really enjoyed. Really? I really. Oh my god. This is so hard to talk about. I actually really enjoyed playing.
This is weird though. This game is weird.
It's very weird
because it's like they have the powers to just. Okay,
what's up, Brad?
What I'm saying is the creators of the game really just want one girl to sit on another girl's face, right? Just take her pants off and sit on her face.
Hold on.
And they have the ability to do that, but they can't just put that out and make millions of dollars. They got to put it in a fighting game.
Real quick, this girl, the one on the left, loves to be abused. She loves when the other characters call her a dirty bitch. I swear to God, if I recorded an hour and a half of this last night,
God.
so tomorrow when we're on our meeting, I can stream out that footage.
Oh, of course.
But there's oh my God, so in this cutscene that happens, or it might have been before this or after this, she touches her halo. And she freaks out and she starts going crazy and she's like, yes, yell at me more, please, I deserve it. Really fucking weird. And
I mean, this is all just. I mean, the developers are living out their fantasy.
Probably.
What I was trying to say was that I really liked.
Know what they do after hours with these models.
I really liked Final Fantasy X too because of the costume changes and the job systems and everything and how they're that stuff's kind of cool.
That's a job class.
But see, Nick, all of that.
This has a job class system.
All of these outfits completely customizable.
But do they have any impact on the way the characters play?
No, it's all just aesthetic.
So what underneath that matters.
But you can change what's underneath. That's the thing. So I will say that the dressing room in this game is way more elaborate than it was in the last game. To the point.
I would hope so.
Like I said, you can even, make them less scandalous. You can put more clothes on them, so even when their clothes get ripped off, they're still.
What Vang in chat said true that this used to be a Nintendo game?
I have no idea.
I want y'all to know this is still really tame compared to a lot of this stuff. I can imagine
maybe it started on the DS maybe or something.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
There was an entry on the DS.
Yeah.
This is the Senran Kagura guys are the Toshinden guys. They used to make fighting games for the PlayStation.
Man.
Like I said, the fighting in this game is really good. And once again, every character's complete. There's one, oh my God, I didn't know because she's new to this game, or at least to me. I think she's new to this game because this world they go to, there are these there's a school that they're in this kind of weird realm. where they're trying to help the ghost of past like dead shinobis. There's this like festival going. There's actually a story to this game. There literally the hour and a half of footage of me that I recorded last night. That's all the kind of intro to the game. This footage is when I finished that and I just started playing the game. But yeah, there's this one girl where her weapon are these two like drumsticks. You know, like the big Japanese drums, like those giant ones that are kind of iconic, and they hit them with the big cylinder sticks. That's her weapon.
Taiko drum.
Yeah, thank you. That's her weapon. So she'll like when she starts doing combos, this drum kind of appears and she starts beating it towards the enemies, and the blast from that's what's doing damage.
They always have such cool like weapons.
Yes, the weapon. Like one of the girls, I forget her name now. Hiromi, I can't remember. She fights with 3 swords in each hand, like almost like Wolverine claws. But she has 3 giant swords in each fucking. Oh yeah.
What is the girl with the green hair sucking on?
That's seaweed. Okay. That's seaweed.
Okay.
Really, it looks like a big green.
Yeah, she fights with 3 fucking swords in each hand. And she's doing these crazy slashes, and like there. Thank you, Toast Homura. Yes, Homura does have giant boobs. There's one character, not from this school, but there's one, and like, oh my god, like so. There's this one girl who
No one's getting all excited again.
who really wants to grab other girls' boobies. That's what she really likes.
This girl says.
Oh yeah, no, that's from a different school.
That's cool.
And there's one of them. There's this one girl who's like really innocent, and there's this one girl who's she's more mature, but she secretly really not secretly. He's very public about it. Really likes that innocent girl, but the innocent girl's really oblivious to it. Like I don't know. Like there's some pretty good humor. There's some pretty good story. Like I said, there's a lot of plot. In multiple meanings in this game. There is a lot going on. Like the stuff that happens in between cutscene. Oh, and this girl has this giant fucking sword. And so that's the thing. So I only played one school from the last game. So I'm only familiar with maybe 5 different shinobi. There's like maybe 15 or like there's a lot of characters in this game. And so a lot of them I've never even used used to this girl's sword because I've never used it before.
Say she looks lame as fuck.
No, so that's the thing is once again every character is different. So I'm trying to learn how do I use this character. And so yeah, this like I said, her swords are very slow but very heavy damage. Yeah. As opposed to some of them who are very quick. So she has a lot of knockback, whereas others don't. And so once again, when you transform, you then have these special abilities you can use that are based off the scrolls you have that will either do like kind of area of effect damage, or they'll do very, very straight and like almost like a cone area in front of you damage. And so I think in this one I do her frantic mode. And so when you do your regular transformation, you regain your health and you do more damage and more defense. But in the frantic mode,
sorry,
you have a shit ton of strength.
What the fuck? She just lost the tracksuit? It's just gone?
In frantic, they just rip off their clothes.
So you're less inhibited.
Yes, but you have like no defense though when you're in this mode. Of course. So you take a lot more damage.
At least they're realistic about it.
Yeah. So I honestly should not have done that for this. Frantic's really good to use against single combatants, and so this is one of like the area. I think this is the area of effect attack. And so I don't know. Like the making me feel weird aside when I play it.
I mean, but you already played the it's made you feel weird
this
before.
This one's a little more than the last one.
I mean, so like this is the one where like you could just like fondle boobies with little Mickey Mouse hands, right?
You could do that on the Vita one. You could do that too.
Just Mickey Mouse hands, just squeeze it
in the dressing room. You can do a full body display, and it will show the character. And there's a touchpad mode. It will pull up 2 Mickey Mouse hands, and you can squeeze. You can pull on.
You can
things.
Feel around.
You ever play Mario 64? It's kind of like that.
No, it's exactly like that. It's exactly like that, Nick. With other things.
Oh. And of course they are ashamed or something. But that's large. That's more with the issue of like Japanese porn and whatnot. But yeah.
But once again, in the dressing room, I think they've added a lot more, and I think that's just the technical limitations of the Vita. In the PS4, it does not have those limitations.
Is this the same developer that gave us the tissues at E3?
Yeah.
No, that was.
I believe so.
Oh, that was the one with. Akibara.
Akiba Strip.
Akiba Strip.
Who developed that? This is
Same publisher, but different developer.
Xseed is the publisher. The developer of this one, I forget their name.
That's the one we have to
Starts with a T.
because the sunlight. They're
Akiba.
vampires.
Right.
Yeah.
But they're like cyborg vampires.
Yeah, something like that. But anyway, so in this game, like when you go into the dressing room, you can actually, like I said, you can change a shit ton about them. You can change their facial features. You can change like if they're smiling or frowning, or you can do all.
Because they can only do one or the other.
Well, yeah. Well, there's like I said, there's just a lot more that you can do that, like. I don't know. Yes, thank you. Tamsoft is the developer.
That sounds dirty.
But you can, similar to the last game, there's like a shop where you can go and you can buy new outfits for them. You can buy new accessories like, bunny ears
Things
and all
to stick
that
between
shit.
their boobs.
If you can, that's the thing.
They
with this
seem
game.
to like to want to store things between their
You
breasts.
can stick things anywhere. This is Homura. This is the one in the middle. This is the one that fights with the triple swords, which is really cool.
Yeah, I saw that in One Piece.
Or technically sextuple swords.
Why does it look like some of their boobs are pointed up? You know what I'm
they're
saying?
perky.
Yeah, they're
like hyper
Like,
perky.
I mean, I've seen perky boobs before, but like these are like
Nick, these aren't
These are
real.
like-
No,
flying-
if boobs were like helium balloons and they just kept like floating
like
up
they're-
into her face,
they're-
like, I'm trying to talk to somebody.
they're trying to float away from her body.
The creators of these games have not seen actual boobs.
Probably.
No,
Well, that's
this
rude. But yeah, no, like I was saying, you can stick any accessory
educated,
anywhere. So you can
yes.
take something that normally would go on their wrist and you can put it on their leg or on their chest. You can. There's complete customizability, which is why in the last game I had like a pacifier and I made it really big and I stuck it like behind the girl's butt.
Yes, Reborn, I have heard of a push-up bra, but like that's still getting pretty ridiculous.
Is the pacifier back?
I haven't unlocked it yet,
But it is there.
I don't know. I'm assuming it's going to
Can
be
you put
there.
that one anywhere?
Like I said, any accessory you can put anywhere.
Can you
Anywhere.
put it in the butt and then the mouth?
It's really just sticks and
You can
holes.
put one in each, Brad. And you can have more accessories in this game. I think in the last one you could only have like
Remember
a
that
few.
time there was a Disney High School Musical game that was developed by A2M Games, and all I could ever think of every time I read that was ass to mouth.
I don't know. Like once again,
just pacifier in every orifice. That's
You
what
can.
that'd be my character.
I think in this game you can have. Oh, this is the one. This girl, she's the one that loves to touch. If you read the text, she's talking about grabbing boobies, and she's trying to oil up this girl's boobies right now.
I can't believe.
And the one on the far left is the one that really likes the pink one. And I think in the next, that's Yagyu. Yeah, I think she's talking about oiling up the other. She's like, oh, I want to.
When they're not actually oiling up breasts, they're talking about oiling up
Are
breasts.
there any dudes in this game? I feel like
No.
eventually
So
the
far,
series
no.
is going to be progressive enough to
In-
have a
in the
dude
last
with
game-
a big ass floppy dong.
In the last game, there was one dude, two dudes, at least one dude, who was Asuka's grandfather. So he was like training them. And now in this game, it's her grandmother who's training them. So far, I have not seen any dudes.
Oh my god. Big old.
Yeah, so what Toast said, Asuka's grandfather.
All right.
But yeah, so I mean, it's.
I say we just let the footage run and continue the podcast.
I mean, we could, but I don't.
No, we've already established that I can't think properly when I'm watching this footage. It's a
Yeah.
weakness, okay? It's
So
a weakness that I have.
During this cutscene, I could have changed all of those outfits beforehand, and they would be dynamically new outfits.
Infinite replayability, it seems like.
See, she really wants to touch Ikaruga's.
That's adorable.
whatever.
There,
Look
is
at
there
that.
ever any
Okay,
contact?
by the way,
Just
that
like-
is not a push-up bra. She is wearing a bikini, and they still look like they're floating away from
It's
her
a
body.
push-up bikini.
Those do not exist. Please
No,
tell me.
the bikini is hollow on the inside, and it's filled with helium.
Oh, okay.
So,
All right.
so it
Fair
slightly
enough.
rises.
Fair enough. Okay. We need to move on.
Do we
Crispy.
know? The game does have a lot of butts. Yep, that is true.
Chai Tai is trying to appeal to my love of asses. Nick, this game has tons of asses.
Yeah, it's mostly boobs though.
For the most part, yeah. I think the Japan. Never mind.
It's a buttload of butt.
Anyway, I will definitely continue to play more of this.
I will, without a doubt.
Yep. Like I said, during our meeting tomorrow.
I would have asked if I could borrow your
I
copy.
had this in my game for IQ and I pulled it out.
Oh, you
Yeah?
pulled out, Brad?
Yeah?
Why'd you pull out?
That's
You always
because
pull
Brad's smart. I'm sorry.
Prince, not yet. I want someone else to play it so I can talk about it with them.
I will play it. I just don't want to borrow your copy. I'll have to buy it myself.
No. Malditas Castilia. Wait, that's...
I have no idea what you just
that's
said.
Prince's game, his Supporter of the Month game. Malditas Castilia.
Ah.
It's a PC game. It's free. Anybody can download it and play it. And it's definitely not easy, but a lot of fun.
Okay.
So yeah, I want someone else to play it so they can talk about it with me. So hopefully either by next podcast or the one after that, which will still be March.
Maldita Castilla.
We can talk about it.
It's really hard.
All right. We need to move on.
You have unlimited continues, so I mean you can just keep going.
Crispy.
But it's fun.
You been playing anything besides Hitman?
I played a little bit of Division.
Oh yeah, how's that go? I forgot you got that too.
Yeah, it's good. I'm still leveling up. I haven't had a lot of time to play this weekend.
It is South by.
One thing I'm noticing is it seems like now that we're not in beta and the game is live and people are like, settling in for the long haul, the Dark Zone is kind of losing its
Luster?
It's losing its edge a little bit.
How so?
Well,
less people are fucking around.
Less people are fucking around because the penalties for fucking around are so severe. You lose a lot of if you go rogue, and I'm pretty sure this was true in the beta too. But if you go rogue, you lose. You have that bounty placed on you, and if you end up dying before your timer runs out, you lose a lot of you lose a lot of Dark Zone experience,
yeah,
and currency too. I think. Which for the beta, which was only a weekend long, I don't think a lot of people really cared that much.
There was no, and to that extent, there was no penalty for.
Yeah, they weren't really worried about long term effects of that. Now that people are like on their actual characters and are playing and have been spending have been spending a lot of time, like leveling up in the Dark Zone and shit like that. Like everyone's super nervous about going rogue. It seems like.
That's good.
In fact, the only real problem in the Dark Zone now is people.
It's literally
trying to trick you into going rogue so that they can kill you for free.
Is this like Chris Davis really likes this thing, right?
He does.
He said he's played it for like 46 hours or something.
Something like that, yeah.
46 hours.
It's like Tom Clancy's Destiny. That's why he's all about it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very Destiny, right?
It is, yes. It is very Destiny. Major exception to that being is there is a lot of matchmaking in the Division, which is great, which is something Destiny really should have. I mean, that's not to say that people aren't dicking around in the Dark Zone, like that it doesn't happen occasionally. It just isn't. I'm not as nervous.
I kind of feel
about
like that's better
it
though.
as in the.
I feel like
the
too
beta.
much of that though could ruin the experience in the Dark Zone. If everybody was just fucking losing their minds.
Right, but literally when everyone is afraid of like shooting each other, what you end up getting is people running around, grabbing loot, going to the extraction site, and just waiting patiently with all the other players waiting there, like as if you were in like a
grocery
safe zone
store
or something.
Yeah.
Trying to check out at the line.
There's just not a lot to do in there if you're not like. What's really cool about the Dark Zone is that moment when you like run into other players. That moment where it's like, okay, I have a lot of loot. I'm being really like cautious around you, but I don't want to start shit with you, so I'm gonna like steer clear. Like that moment, because you never know what the other person's motivation is gonna be. You never know what they're gonna do. That seems to be a little lessened now that I don't expect very many people to want to.
Yeah.
Risk going rogue and fucking with me.
Mm-hmm.
This is something that a lot of people have been talking about too lately. So I imagine Ubisoft is probably going to try to rebalance this whole thing, because as is it's just a little disappointing. Have you there's
done?
There's no like the the second thought on like, oh hey, I should shoot this guy right now is so severe because everyone's immediately going to be put on your trail.
Mm-hmm.
There's no penalty for killing you, so why wouldn't anybody want to do it? You know, and they get a lot of rewards for doing it, and you lose a lot.
I mean, it seems like it's almost a scenario of if you want to go rogue, you can't do it by yourself. You need to be with a team of other people, unless you're like one of the only few people in the Dark Zone server.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean,
it sounds. I don't know. I should probably wait to play it. I do have one question for you, though, Crispy.
Mm-hmm.
Have you played much outside of the Dark Zone?
Yeah.
How's that stuff? Everyone always talks about the Dark Zone in this game. I haven't heard anyone talk about the stuff outside of that.
Story missions.
People talk about the Dark Zone because that's like the end game. That is what you do once you've leveled up.
Yeah.
The story missions they're not. I mean, they're fine. They're not really that much different than. Did you play the open beta at all?
No, he
No,
didn't.
I haven't touched it.
Okay, I mean,
All I ever played was that PAX demo.
It's very much like it's like a Destiny setup where you just have a dungeon filled with enemies and you run through and kill them all basically.
I think
At least that's everything that I've encountered so far.
I think Nick, this is not the game for you.
I mean, that's why I'm kind of on the fence about it. I mean, I don't know.
But I completely understand.
I don't
want
wanna
to
pay $60
people
for
are
it.
into this thing.
It is this as of today. Before we started this podcast, it was officially announced that this has become the fastest selling new IP ever, which kind of blows my mind. Considering, I feel like the marketing for this game leading up to release has been pretty unspectacular, and the just the hype and the people talking about this has been so low. At least it's at the surface level. It doesn't look like it's been very, it doesn't feel like the hype has been there. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you gotta look at the crowd that this game is courting too. I mean, these are like the metagame for the Division is very much in the mold of, like I said, Destiny or by extension Diablo.
But
this isn't a story experience kind of game. This isn't something that is necessarily like new. They might be doing it a little differently, but like the concept of it isn't really like new or setting anyone's world on fire.
I know, but the fact that it's that the fastest selling in the opening weekend for any new IP ever.
Yeah.
But who saw that coming?
Well, if
Whatever
whatever
new
game,
IPs don't usually do that well.
yeah, I mean, Destiny was kind of the same way when it came out too. Like
Yeah, and
whatever
people-
game is going to be doing that is going to be the kind of game that is like a kind of like
I just thought people would be a little more hesitant after how
Extra-
the launch of Destiny went.
well, I mean,
That game didn't.
there was a lot of people who weren't hot on Destiny when it came out, but Destiny still had an audience. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't dying by any means. It
And
was
the
really vocal because a lot of people were playing it.
Division also had really compelling ads and stuff.
This is
trailers.
It did. And this is the kind of game that like people will buy and like tell their friends to buy because they want to have a group together to play.
They want
with,
someone to go rogue with
This
in the
is-
Dark Zone.
Yeah, this is the kind of game that you wouldn't even necessarily be interested in if you didn't think you wouldn't have anyone to play with. You know.
Gotcha.
So I don't know. That kind of like a game that would be like best-selling new IP to me would probably be something like this, or a fucking MOBA or some shit like that. You know, some kind of multiplayer game that has this really flexible amount of replayability.
yeah, that's true. Makes sense.
Yeah.
It's just it was still kind of like I was like, whoa.
Yeah, it's weird, and it definitely, like any MMO like this, it definitely is going to take a while to kind of
Find its footing, I guess.
hash it out, even it out. There's,
Give it 6 months, this game will probably be very different, or not very different in
wouldn't
terms of
be
the experience,
surprised.
but like a very more honed,
Yeah.
polished experience, maybe.
Well, once they get their so they have these things coming called incursions, which are essentially raids. Once they get that kind of stuff going, there will probably be more. I don't know. The player base will probably be more settled and kind of spread out a little bit.
Is there anything else you wanna say about the Division before we take a break?
No.
Or?
I would just mention I did play the new the Batmobile in Rocket League.
Yeah, how'd that
Pretty
go?
cool car.
Yeah.
Has like the smallest hitbox of any of the cars in the game. It's,
Did you give you a feel for how it's gonna be in a movie? No.
fuck you.
I'm serious.
It's a nice car. It's zippy. It's fast.
They really haven't shown anything
It's
of that
really-
car moving in the trailer to that movie.
I feel
Just-
like it's
there's
harder
that
to hit
one
the ball
scene.
with it.
Yeah, it seems like it exists to be ripped open by Superman.
Yep.
Speaking of Rocket League, I guess Chris Davis would like me to update people on our 4-player flag. It's going to be not because they just updated it, right? They just
Yeah.
updated. So
It's not going to be in
not
the
this update, but
not
the next
this
one.
update. The next one.
they
They don't have
have
a date on
they
it.
have our 4-player logo, and they said it will be going through on the next update.
But we don't know when that one is.
We don't know exactly when that'll be, but we will be sure to let everybody know because we are in contact with them and we will find out and let everybody know accordingly when they can download their sweet 4-player network Rocket League.
I doubt they'll
flag.
have to download it. I'm sure
We will
It'll be an unlock.
We will do a community night as soon as that with Rocket League as soon as that flag is available.
Yep.
All right, we're gonna take a break because this segment's gone a little long. But a lot of good games to talk about. So when we come back, we'll do news, and I think we have a bunch of. I don't think we have a lot of news, but we have a lot of viewer questions or patron questions to answer this week. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a jiffy, right? Jiffy?
Yeah.
You just shut your mouth.
Shut my asshole.
God damn. Why couldn't you have said that like 20 seconds earlier?
Sorry.
So I could have captured that. Whatever. Anyways, hello, Brad.
Hello, Nick.
Welcome to the Bump Spot.
Oh yeah, my favorite.
We have some cool stuff to talk
Like
about this
what?
week. First of all, I just want to mention briefly that we finally posted our first episode, our pilot episode of the Revival Club. I keep wanting to say podcast. It's not really a podcast anymore. It's a video feature. You can find it on the front, right now. It's on the front page of 4playernetwork.com. It's on our YouTube page. It's on our Patreon activity feed. Please go check it out. Brad and I played a little bit of Dragon Quest VIII and talked about it, answered some questions.
Yeah, it was fun.
Read some anecdotes. People seem to be enjoying it, so we are eager
Is the poll up for the next one?
The poll is up for the
What are
next
those
one.
games, Nick?
Those games are Doom,
The original Doom.
the original Doom, Psychonauts,
Ooh.
Star Fox 64,
Ah.
and Shenmue.
Oh.
I'll be honest, I've only played a significant portion of one of those.
I think those are all great choices. I can't wait to find out what's winning.
So right now, our patrons are eligible to go vote for that. So if you're a patron, please go to the activity feed, check out the post for the Revival Club. There's a link at the bottom to go to the poll and vote. And I think last time I checked, Psychonauts was winning, but I don't know. So please go do that. We'll be recording that one probably within the next month or so. And please, if you have feedback or suggestions or ideas for how we can improve the format of it, because this is very much a work in progress, be sure to leave us a comment either on the YouTube video or on the front page of 4playernetwork.com so we can read those. This weekend, Saturday and Sunday, we have two big things happening.
Ooh.
Saturday, which is 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, Nolan's going to be hosting a community night. He's going to be playing The Last of Us factions with the community. There's a update, Nolan, right? Sorry. Okay.
It's a Sony sale.
Sony sale is going on for Last of Us. You can play factions with Nolan. So tune in that. He's going to be starting at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. And also Sunday, Brad, what do we have on Sunday?
Sunday, we have a mini Project M.
Yep, another one of
my
those.
favorites.
So myself, Nick, and Crispy will be playing Super Metroid from start to finish, apparently.
Good luck with the wall jumping.
I have never played Super Metroid in my life. I don't think Crispy has either, so it should be interesting.
It's a masterpiece.
It is apparently a masterpiece. It is a game that has long been on my list, something I've wanted to tackle for a long time, so I guess I'm going to knock that out on Sunday. So it'll be a dual stream. You can watch Crispy and myself play through it simultaneously. You can 4pp.tv, you can watch both streams at the same time. So we don't know the exact starting time yet. We'll be posting that on the calendar as soon as it's ready. So make sure you check out the calendar, 4playernetwork.com/calendar. And I think that's all we have. Brad, unless you wanted to mention anything else.
Just want to say quick play. You got body.
Thank you, Brad. All right, let's get back to our regularly scheduled podcast. Hey, it's Brad. Welcome back, Brad.
Hey, Nick. Let's just get right into the news.
Let's do it. Let's make the news quick.
I just briefly want to mention the MPDs because there's a couple of interesting things. One, like Fire Emblem sold like fucking crazy. It broke records for Western sales. Like sold incredibly well. Like,
How is that? How is that possible?
Way more than even Awakening.
There was like 10 copies to go around.
All it means is that I'm never getting Advance Wars, and I'm getting Fire Emblem for the rest of my life, and that's great. That's great. I'd rather have Advance Wars, but fuck it. The other funny thing is Street Fighter, I mean, it was on the MPDs, but it didn't do nearly as well as Street Fighter 4, which makes a little sense. There was a lot of hype around Street Fighter 4. It had that new art
Street Fighter
style.
4 was the first Street Fighter game in like
A very long time.
A very long time.
Yeah.
And now it's been like what, a year and a half?
A year and a
2 years?
half. Street Fighter 4 came out in 2009.
Yeah, 2009.
Really?
Yeah.
But the thing,
it feels like
is,
yesterday.
there's been like a lot of revisions and more and like
Yeah,
releases
a lot of updates and stuff.
Yeah, like
yeah,
Ultra
yeah.
and then like ports of it and stuff. There's been a lot of versions of it. So like we never missed Street Fighter. You know what I mean? So it didn't sell that well. In fact, Naruto, the new Naruto game outsold Street Fighter.
Ultimate Ninja Storm 4.
Outsold Street Fighter by
Played
quite a
some of
bit.
that.
So
It's pretty good.
I just wanted to bring that up. It's kind of disappointing for Capcom. Maybe if they released an actual finished game,
How
maybe
does
it
that
would
make
sold
you
a little
feel,
bit
Brad?
better.
That Crispy played the new Naruto game, but hasn't played any Street Fighter.
I
with you?
mean, it's I
probably played more Street Fighter 5
expected.
than I have.
No.
expected.
Should I watch Naruto?
Chai told me he was secretly training you.
That's a
I
question
really
I've
wish you would have
asked for
stuck with it.
years.
Shippuden you probably like.
I don't know what that means.
That's like the second series.
What else is in the news?
I got nothing.
I just really briefly wanted to bring up. Anybody watched that hot new footage of the System Shock remake, the one that's being done by Night Dive Studios?
Nope.
It's
I think we have some footage.
we do have some footage. It's like, first of all, I've never played System Shock. I played System Shock 2. I don't know much of anything about System Shock 1.
System Shock 1 is a much simpler game. It's more of just kind of like a horror adventure game. I mean, it's not a full-on RPG like System Shock 2.
I mean, this footage is very much like, it's just kind of it's pre-alpha. It's just giving you an idea of what it's going to look like. But it's looking pretty hot. Like, it's looking...
Yeah, I mean, System Shock 1 is like real.
Like, I didn't really
fucking
know what to
old.
expect when I heard Night Dive Studios was going to be working on like first of all, they were remastering or remaking the first one. Now they're going to be making System
Does
Shock
look
3.
really good.
Like, because if you go back and look at System Shock 1, it's kind of like, I don't know if it's aged so hot.
Oh no, it definitely hasn't aged very well. I mean,
So this looks pretty incredible. And like, ever since I played System Shock 2, which I really loved, I'm sad that I didn't really get to finish it for reasons beyond my control. This is definitely an exciting opportunity to go back and really like get the most out of the series. I'm wondering, System Shock 2 was developed by a different studio, right, than System Shock 1?
Well, I mean, a lot of the same people. I mean, a lot of studios were.
I mean, is there a
back
reason
then.
why we're getting a remake of System Shock 1, System Shock 3, and there's really no mention of ever going back and doing anything with 2?
because 2's perfect.
Or is that
Two
just
is 2 has been re-released like on Steam and stuff, but
yeah,
I mean,
but not like this is a straight
no,
up
no, no.
like,
But System
random
Shock 1
remake.
is a much older game that's really kind of hard to go back to. This one needs an update. System Shock 2 doesn't really need this level of update.
Yeah,
I
System
don't
Shock 2
feel like.
was I think aged pretty well.
Also, like I think the rights for System Shock 2 are kind of like in a weird place.
See, that's
right
what
now.
I'm kind of wondering about.
Yeah.
I don't know what the rights are like there, but
Probably
it's
some
exciting.
bank or some lawyer owns them.
It's
or something.
exciting. Like Night Dive Studios don't really know. They don't really have. There's not really.
Well, I mean, Warren
reference.
Spector,
Warren Spector
recently joined them.
Warren Spector is that was. I don't. Did we ever mention that in the news?
I don't think we
I
did.
don't think we did.
I don't
Warren
think so.
Spector joined Night Dive Studios to work on System Shock 3, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And I didn't really know what to expect from this game or from the studio because obviously they're a new studio and they're new-ish studio and they're a lot of the stuff they've done so far has been remasters of existing games, right? They've done. Didn't Night Dive do that Turok re-release or is that a
Yeah, I
different
believe
studio?
so.
Like they've been taking older games, kind of re-releasing them, which is great. But like this was the first time they said they're doing a full-blown remake, and I didn't really know what to expect. But this shit has me excited. Not only does it make me excited for System Shock, the original System Shock remake, but it has me excited for System Shock 3. So
Yeah, I mean, yeah, absolutely. I mean, the thing is, the System Shock games back then were made by much smaller teams, and now you kind of have a small team working on System Shock again, like a new System Shock, and you almost kind of expect it to be a big production, like a BioShock, but it's not going to be like that. But I think that's kind of fine because they didn't start out that way. So
and this looks like it may not have the production value of like BioShock and BioShock Infinite or whatever, but like that's a hot looking game. I think that looks slick as shit.
Definitely.
Sorry, I
Yeah.
didn't mean to say slick.
I mean,
as
it's
shit.
not necessarily a game
me?
yet.
No, that was
could've-
me.
That could have just been a tech.
It's an
demo, but-
iMessage.
Yeah. Anyways,
We'll see.
I wanted to bring that up. I know Nolan, you said you didn't really have a news up this week, and
I mean, one thing I can mention is the whole. It got announced that Microsoft was going to stop being a dick and crossplay.
well, actually, that's
that was
pretty
I
news.
didn't. I didn't know. I updated the doc like 3 days ago. So.
Oh shit!
You know,
Never checked it
we
again.
missed a big story last year. I mean, last week.
Last year?
about
That must
about
have been big.
about Phil Spencer saying that the Xbox is going to become this thing more
Oh,
akin
the
to
like
like
modular or
a
whatever.
no, it's not
No,
modular.
sorry, not modular.
It's
but
more like a cell, like how cell phones.
yeah, like you
get
you
new
get a new
ones
cell
every
phone
couple
once
years.
every 2 years or something
Yeah.
like that.
Like that's pretty much the way he kind of
It's his envision.
The way he visions
it going.
Xbox going forward. So we might actually be hearing about a slightly more powerful Xbox
At E3.
in the future. And I'm guessing they're probably just gonna, pull like this is the iPad, this is the iPhone, and it's gonna be the Xbox, this version of the Xbox, and you're gonna buy one once every 2 years if you want to.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
They're gonna have fucking pay, not a payment plan.
Wait, what
but
did I fuck
upgrade
up?
plans.
Xbox.
Oh, no, that's about right.
So last week,
Xbox.
hey, let's not
Live.
forget Chris Davis spelled Street Fighter week. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry,
Yeah.
Crispy.
Our title game is on point.
Yeah, I know. I'll fix it for that. Hey, Chris Davis walked in moments before we started this podcast, said, I fucked up the overlays. Nick, you have to redo them all. And I redid all of them. All of them. Why do you think we were so late?
That would have been really impressive.
Okay,
if you got it
that's
right.
not entirely true. We were late for other reasons. But I did have to redo all the overlays. So you can blame Chris Davis.
There you go. That would be impressive, Nick, if you hadn't fucked it
Reborn
up.
has just volunteered to be our copy editor.
Yay.
Look at that. Thank you, Reborn. I'm sorry.
No, she asked if we needed one.
No, she volunteered.
She knows it.
I mean, I read it perfectly clear right there. She volunteered to be our copy editor. Crispy.
Yeah, well, we've kind of already said it, but yeah, Microsoft's planning on opening up Xbox Live for cross-play between PC, and they are inviting other online networks to join them, which basically means we could have Xbox Live and PSN players.
And Rocket League is the first.
cross-playing.
Rocket League is the first one doing this, right?
Rocket League is the first one on the Xbox doing this. Yes.
Yes.
Which is nice.
Is that's
I
cro-
guess.
that's
That
not
was already cross-play on PlayStation
Yeah.
So you
PS4
could-
and PC, yeah.
and PS3. You could play.
And
Oh,
PS3.
okay.
Yeah, you can play between all three of them. Yeah, so Xbox is kind of following suit, which is that's kind of cool, I guess. Nice.
I mean, it
Sure.
opens. It opens.
It
some
would
doors.
definitely if everything was just open crossplay, it would definitely eliminate all that shit of like, oh, I want to get the Division, but all my friends are buying it on Xbox.
And that's kind of something I
like,
brought up in our chat room that I was talking about. Like Microsoft, I guess, had this mentality of, oh, crossplay's bad. If we don't do crossplay, then people are going to buy an Xbox. Yeah. That's not how that fucking works.
It's really nice. In
you know
Street
how it
Fighter.
works? If there's no crossplay, they just don't buy that game.
You know what sells consoles?
That's how that works.
They're finding out that people just
Because
don't buy it.
I could play anybody in chat who has Street Fighter because of crossplay.
Yeah.
You know what? You know
nice.
what actually sells consoles? Games.
Yeah.
Make some fucking good games, exclusive games, even. Sell your fucking platform.
Well, Time Cop is coming out soon.
Yeah,
so
and
maybe
the
that'll be
crossplay for Rocket League isn't available yet.
Yeah, not yet.
But it
it's
will
in,
be.
It's in the
It's-
works.
yeah.
Yeah.
It is in
It's coming.
the works. Do we have any other news topics?
good.
No need
All
for
right.
them.
Tacoma
So let's
got
dive
delayed.
straight into community.
Yay!
Oh, sorry. That's the
no,
one thing.
fuck you.
Sorry.
Too late. It's community time.
It's too
late, Nick.
This is CD Projekt Red related. That was the news topic I was going to briefly mention, then it slipped my mind right before I said it. Since you didn't have a news topic, there was CD Projekt Red said they are working on a new IP, like a new RPG that's supposed to be like it's not Cyberpunk, it's not The Witcher. Mm-hmm. It's supposed to be just as large, if not, or supposed to be twice as big as fucking.
Prey 2.
No, it's not. God damn it. Sorry. That's really a
Made myself
non-news
sad.
topic. They basically just said they're also experimenting with other types of games. Who the fuck knows what that even means?
Tetris.
But it looks like The Witcher did really, really well for them. So they have a lot of projects in the works now,
Yeah.
and I'm sure we're gonna be seeing a lot of really cool shit from them in the future. Mm-hmm. Anyways, now it's time for the community.
Community. It's time for the community. That's everyone's favorite part of the show because it's all about you, the community. Yay.
All right,
So it's the Ides of March.
it is.
And
shit.
Why
It's okay,
so,
Caesar.
Why did it get so quiet?
and our supporter of the month is still
Prince
Prince of the Universe.
Prince of the Universe.
And his game of choice was Maldita Castilla. I played a big chunk of that game. It definitely isn't easy. It's fun, though. I enjoy what I played.
Did you play it on the feet? That's
Yeah. It's punishing, but enjoyable. That's what she said. I will play more of it. I hope someone else plays some of it so we can talk about it. I mean, if no one else plays it, I'll still talk about it because I enjoyed it.
What kind of game is it? What is it like?
It's like Ghosts and Goblins.
Oh yeah, fuck those
Yeah,
things.
fuck that. I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
but once again, you have unlimited continues. So
Oh,
I mean, as
that's
soon as you
nice.
run out of lives and stuff, it mentions something about your soul, but then it lets you keep going.
Something, soul, keep going.
Yeah. Whatever. I enjoyed it. I'm gonna play more of it. Was there
New patrons?
Yes, one new patron this week, Benjamin S.
Thank you, Benjamin
Thank
S.
you, Benjamin. We
I wonder
appreciate
if he
your
goes by
patronage.
Ben or if he really prefers Benjamin.
He
People
probably goes
call
by
him
Benny.
B.
Benny?
What up,
Benny. Maybe someone calls him BS.
B?
Maybe they do. Thanks, BS.
Yeah.
I know we're going to call you BS now. All right.
All right, so it's time for questions from our patrons.
Yes.
Yay!
It is
Lots
that time.
of questions this
Let's
week.
fly
so
through 'em.
Flying through them. First question from Marxidus. Have any of you ever gotten bummed out from finishing a game? Not sad in terms of being upset with the content or subject matter, just a little bummed that the ride is over. This happened for me playing games with a heavy sense of exploration, Metroid, Igavanias, and most recently both the Legend of Grimrock games. Even if I replay them, it always bums me out a little when I see fully explored maps. Side note, Grimrock games are amazing and blah 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 blah.
I will
Yes,
say
they are.
I will say Red Dead Redemption is a game that I felt genuinely upset when it was done. Like when I had unveiled, like when I had revealed all of the map and I had kind of explored every region and done this, like when I knew like if I keep going, I'm just stretching it out.
There's a realization when you're hearing like the canned NPC dialogue at a certain point where you're like, I've heard all the unique dialogue. Like, there's nothing new that I'm going to hear anymore from this game. Like that's
seen
kind
it
of
all.
like, oh yeah.
I'd say
does suck.
a lot of JRPGs that I played back in the day when I had a lot of time to play JRPGs, always really hard to get to the end because you kind of want to put off all the side quests. You're like, I don't want to finish it. And, finishing those games were
Yeah, I know that feeling
tough.
of like, you have like the one main quest left, so you start doing all these side quests just to try and extend the game a little longer. Because, I mean, when you get to there's all that, like, sometimes I don't really want to replay it because that's kind of like, like when you get to like the final moments, it can be sad when it's over.
I think other examples of that for me would be, Ocarina of Time. I played that game so many times, but like first time I played that game, I was like still in complete awe of it.
Senran Kagura.
Senran Kagura. If only there were other places I could see boobs.
All right, moving on. Next question from Landon. I apologize if you've answered this before, but can you explain the differences you like and dislike between Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 2? I'm pretty. He says, I'm pretty. I've heard Brad mention it once or twice.
I
but
think you would say I'm
remember.
pretty sure I've heard Brad mention
probably.
it. Crispy, would you like to...
The biggest kind of most glaring difference is the world.
Yeah,
between the two.
between Dark Souls 1 and 2, the world is
Some of the
is
map design.
Well, that's the world in general.
The way everything
like that's what I'm talking about. The
I mean,
actual
even
how you
even
progress.
if you wanna look at that in a broader scope, yes, I did mean the map design.
That's
you're
what he
right.
meant, yes.
But in a broader scope too, I feel like there's a more interesting kind of like lore and history to Lordran than there is to Drangleic. I mean that's much more subjective. But
it's a little more obvious. Like they deliver the lore to you a little bit differently in 2 than they do in 1.
Yeah.
But in 2, a big difference is they give you fast travel right at the beginning. You can just immediately fast travel, which completely
it doesn't feel
gets
a
rid
thing.
of the feeling you got in 1 when it took a long time to get fast travel. So the beginning areas you learn like the back of your hand, which I don't know very well. But you learn them very well because you were constantly running through them and having
You constantly have to have an
There's-
escape route.
Well, that and like 2 is definitely built for having fast travel from the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's so when you stop and think about the places in 2 that you see one time and never ever see again,
You never
compared
go
to-
back to them.
compared to
Remember
that in Dark Souls
there's
1,
that
it's
one path on the right with like the
huge,
river
like it's staggering.
that leads up to the tree or whatever.
Yeah.
You go through there like once and then
There's-
you like never go back.
I've played
every
enough of the game
area-
to at least know what you're talking about
Every
there.
area of that world has like these 2 or 3 transition areas that you will never see again after you pass through them one time.
Yep.
And that's it's
I wonder
a
where
little,
Dark Souls 3 is going to fall in that
The
spectrum.
But I
world
mean,
doesn't feel as continuous.
I still think that it's somewhat overstated. Like people talk about like Dark Souls 2, like there was no level design.
no,
It's not the case.
There's
there
some really impressive.
there are really cool
stuff
places.
that you do backtrack through.
It's just the way the world is put together is not as cohesive
Sure.
and overlapping and intertwining as Dark Souls.
What I like about Dark Souls 2 is they made some like really smart quality of life improvements.
They did.
Like, being able to respec and
Yeah.
or like being able to respec easily.
Yeah.
You know?
Here's a quick question: as someone who's only really played Bloodborne from start to finish, where does Bloodborne fall in that spectrum?
More
of
than
That-
Dark
that's a
Souls.
different conversation.
It's more on the Dark Souls end as far as like world
But I mean,
design.
Dark Souls 1 or 2.
Dark Souls 1.
Dark Souls
See,
1.
I would say
I
mix in
disagree with that
between.
because I feel like more areas stand out to me as unique in Dark Souls 2 than Bloodborne has.
Well, I'm
Like-
talking
like the-
about.
talking about-
I'm not talking about like the production design of like the areas that you're in. I'm talking about the
question's going on a
actual
long
like
like
the way they're interconnected.
the way that the game world is structurally interconnected and the way you move through it is very Dark Souls 1. Now,
Parts of it.
Brad's discussion about whether or not the world is as memorable, there are some really cool places, especially in the second half of Dark Souls 2 that you end up going. I kind of like Yharnam a little more than I like Drangleic too. But I think the actual design, as far as like backtracking, as far as the way the map's laid out, the way that everything is connected, but like in these really like kind of narrow linear ways, is much more Dark Souls 1 than the sort of like open spoke format of Dark Souls 2.
yeah.
All right, next question. From James S. Gaming guilty pleasures, go.
We've answered this
Senran.
one.
We used to do guilty pleasures as part of the 4-player minutes.
Yeah.
We'd have one every week.
Yeah. I mean, we've answered these before.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
it's
mean,
for me, honestly, right now,
The Division.
Crypt of the Necrodancer. Dude, I've played like
yeah,
way
but
too
that's
much of
a
that.
legit good game.
Right?
Oh,
What do you
yeah,
mean right now?
I played it like over a bunch, like maybe 10 hours over the weekend. I finally beat the game. I saw my name in the credits. It's in there twice.
Here's one for me. I think the Legacy of Kain series is a series that's impossible to go back to. I think those were great for their time, and I love aspects of them still to this day. But like, it's hard for me to recommend to people because like, no matter which one you pick, there's some serious fucking issues with it.
I don't want to name any of my guilty pleasures because I'm just
Kind
going
of
to
a
get
guilty
the.
pleasure.
They're things I've named here many, many, many times. So
Melon in a microwave.
Singularity.
that's one of them. Oh, that's not a guilty pleasure because I've only played it once. I think guilty pleasure is something you go back to.
All right, moving on. Next question. And Chris, do you have any answers? You want to move on? You can move on. Moving on.
I am not ashamed of anything I
Rocket
like.
League.
Good man. Good man.
You shouldn't be ashamed of anything you
Oh
like.
yeah, it's
Movies,
not about being
music.
shamed. It's anyway. Moving on.
Don't be ashamed.
Vincent asks, "Have you ever played a game that you hate that you like? For example, I hate that I like Splinter Cell Conviction. It's a terrible Splinter Cell game, but a pretty gun action game. What are some of yours?"
I hate that I like Diablo. I hate that I like Destiny. I hate that I like The Division.
I hate that I like Diablo 2.
Speaking of, like, I felt the exact same way about Splinter Cell Conviction until I played Blacklist, and I was like, Splinter Cell Conviction sucks.
Yeah.
Splinter Cell Conviction always sucked. Way before you played Black.
Well, I played Conviction, and I was like, I really enjoyed it, but I recognized that it wasn't a purist Splinter Cell game by any
I can't
stretch
think of any off the
imagination.
top of my head.
Really?
What games that I hate that I like?
Man,
I think all the games that I like for a reason.
I hate that I like fighting games when I like them. I feel real guilty about the Street Fighter thing.
I don't really have no.
Well, you should. That one's really
I got nothing. I ain't ashamed of nothing.
All right, next question from Timothy.
I know that guy.
What are some of the most awkward social situations
Oh, God, I
you've
read this
witnessed
question.
that
I was like,
involve
"Ugh."
video games? 2 examples I can think of. Watching guys awkwardly hit on disinterested girls with Zelda knowledge on Ocarina of Time 3DS Midnight launch. Or going to an empty GameStop and seeing all 3 employees come out of the back room adjusting their clothes and hair in a hurry.
I read those and I was like, oh god.
Yeah, but that's only awkward for him.
Yeah. I've
So I brought it up before, but when I was at
He's
UT,
just been there 10 minutes earlier.
when I was at UT, my organization, we had an office, and in our office we had an N64, and we would play Smash a lot, and a GameCube, and we played Smash on both of them. And there was this one guy, who was a decent Smash player, but he had the worst fucking BO in the world.
Oh.
And it was really awkward until we started telling him, hey, you have really bad BO, and he didn't do anything about it. He would just still come in. We would put like 3 or 4 different air fresheners in the room. And there were definitely times when we were like, hey, the room's kind of full. We need some people to leave.
I had a friend like that once. And like one day we were gonna go somewhere together. I forgot. I went over to his house, and like, I think I was in like middle school or something. And his mom answered the door, and she's like, "Oh, he's in the shower. I'll be out in a second." It's like, he's in the shower.
Nice.
Yes, he's not gonna be bad.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yep.
Nothing. Still,
like a glandular thing?
yeah,
Probably.
it must have been. He still had terrible.
And that's
BO.
what the guy told. He said
Fresh
he told
out of
us
the shower.
he told us he showered daily and put on deodorant and stuff. And I don't want to
So-
call him a fucking liar, but he smelled pretty bad.
It's a curse for some people, I guess.
Awkward gaming social situations. There was a time when I was in college where it was a pretty big stint where I would play Tekken with the same. It was the guy that I know no matter what would always be there when I'm there. And we hated each other. We never spoke to each other, but we always played each other because
That's awkward.
we would always be there when there would be no one else.
Yeah.
And we were good sparring partners because we were both really good, and we hated each other. I hated him because he would get so fucking salty. Start talking shit about Julia being high tier, even though he was playing tiers too. Whatever. Fuck that guy.
When PlayStation Home first got big, like any female avatar, like all the guys would run up and start talking to her and
man.
ask her. And like I don't know if I told you, I would do the thing where you can switch avatars. And so I'd make myself a girl, and so many guys would come up, and they would start doing weird stuff, and then I would just switch to the guy avatar, and they'd be like, fuck you, and they'd leave, and I'd be like, you can't ignore my girth, and I would like run
yeah.
after them. Yeah.
Oh, I mean,
It can get awkward when
I
you're
can't
playing
even
a
tell
game.
you. I'm so glad that booth babes aren't
Oh,
really
yeah.
a thing anymore because it's fodder for just horrible, awkward situations. I found pictures on my laptop the other day of the first E3 I ever went to, and there were booth babes everywhere at that show.
Yeah, no, there was an insane amount of them.
And even at a show that is 90% press.
Yep.
It's like maybe not 90%, but it's like it's like 60% press, like 40% industry people, and like still somehow manages to be the most awkward situations. I can't even give any specifics, but it's just like watching grown men fumble around trying to take pictures with booth babes is still some of the most awkward
really weird.
shit.
Yep.
It's really weird.
I love it.
I mean, yeah.
All right, next question from Gonzo Lude. Do you guys prefer voice acting or no voice acting in your games? I kind of prefer none because thinking about how character sounds based on how the character looks. However, I feel like RPGs can get away with no voices than, say, shooters unless y'all think differently.
I prefer,
Wait, is it-
especially now that I stream. So.
Wait, is it
Which one do you prefer? Voices
Do
or
you
no
prefer
voices?
voiced or no voice?
If it's good voicing, I
In
prefer
general,
voiced.
Yeah.
I prefer if it's bad. I enjoy it too for different reasons.
Sometimes, yeah, it can be funny to watch bad
I
voice
think
acting.
I think this day and age, it's gotten to a point where it's pretty rare, unless where you're. If
It
you're
depends
playing,
on the game.
If you're playing a AAA like huge big budget game, it's pretty rare. Like fucking look at Far Cry Primal. It's nothing. It's all voiced and it's all a made up language. Like there's really no excuse to not have.
Well, I mean,
full
it's
voices.
if you think of something like Xenoblade, that has so much content that they can't voice it all. Then, that wouldn't fit on the disc. That wouldn't fit on multiple discs. So I mean, when it comes to like RPGs and stuff, I can understand why only certain segments of the game, and even like in Kagura, like the major cutscenes are voiced, but then like the sub ones aren't
I'm
voiced.
totally fine with that. I prefer characters to at least have a voice that can be used at specific times.
Would you prefer the Fire Emblem method where no one has a voice except for the first word of everything they say, and that word is not necessarily the word they're saying? So they'll be like, yeah, when like their character is saying something completely different, they'll be like, oh man, and their character says something completely different, or like, oh
It's
yeah,
just like a voiced
I'm gonna go on
Yeah.
a limb here and say I'm pretty sure I don't prefer that.
that one sucks.
I prefer voice because in a violent video game where you're murdering people, I love to hear them die.
Alrighty, moving on. Nice question
Yeah.
from Matthew.
Interesting.
Games like Super Mario
my
World
God.
can still stand pretty much flawlessly to today's standards, but many that were impressive at the time are nearly unplayable by modern sensibilities. Do you think that it makes sense to re-review games 20 years later or be presented alongside old reviews, or should games only sport their ratings from the context of their time?
Just take both into account.
Yeah, I think you can. I think
It is always fun to revisit old games.
It's fun to revisit them.
That's why we're doing the revival club.
I
It's
don't
not
know
really a
if you
review.
should necessarily re-review them by today's standards so much, because like you were saying, like something like Super Mario World, the quality of that game is better than some games that come out now.
Most games that come out now.
Oh yeah. So I mean, just like honestly, reviewing it in its time makes it stand out. I don't want to say even so much more because of how impressive it was for then. I don't know. I think it is fun to revisit them, but I think you should kind of review a game once, and unless it's like a game nowadays, which can be a completely different game a year down the line with how much updates they do to it.
Yeah.
I think older games should just be be what they are.
I think reviews should be illegal.
There you go. Next question from Mick Lopa.
Miklopa.
Anti-review
Nobody
over
else?
here.
Nobody else this week? What's up with that?
Brad's gonna wait till I start talking.
Miklopa.
Thank you.
Have you ever tried to see if there's any 4PP fanfics that have you as the protagonist? One of you might get a surprise.
Wait, really?
Apparently. No, I've never looked into that.
That's got to be old shit though. That's got to be like
Probably.
Yeah.
It's
There was
Nick-
like a David and
that's like
Travis.
there's a
shipping-
David and Travis
it's like
one.
shipping David and Nick.
Yeah.
Why do I get the feeling it's me? Like,
Probably,
I
it's probably you.
You say that and I instantly think, oh, it's me.
But it's probably
Something
you.
about pink candy caves.
All right, final question for this evening from Nick the Batman.
Nick.
Okay. I've noticed a kind of annoying trend for some mainstream game sequels, and I was wondering about your take on it. Specifically, that there will be a critically acclaimed entry into a series, Dark Souls, Batman Arkham City, Uncharted 2, followed by a sequel that, while not as groundbreaking as its predecessor, is still great in its own right.
Resident Evil 5.
Dark Souls 2, Arkham Knight, Uncharted 3, but over time, because these games aren't as unprecedented as the previous title, they're actually written off as bad games altogether in the public eye. What are some of your
Resident Evil
thoughts
5.
on that? Notice it for other titles.
First
Resident
of
Evil
all, I
5.
don't know if that's like there's always going to be people who don't like a certain game in a series. I don't know if that means like
he's just talking about, and I understand where he's coming from, and that something like Uncharted 3, while not the best game in the series,
no. I don't think anyone considers that game to be bad.
some people look back on it and are like, "Hey,
Those people have forgotten about Uncharted 1,
Well, some people look back and like, oh, 2's the only good game in the series, and blah blah blah.
and that's
Devil May Cry 4. Absolutely.
And so I understand where he's
Really?
coming from, I think people can, when you look back on a game like that, you remember the best one because it was not flawless, but it was a fantastic game. And the one that was not quite as good, you tend to remember more of the bad things from it.
like here's an example I can think of. Like Crispy, you love the Batman games, but
Except
Origins.
for Origins,
But
which he forgot to mention.
But would you ever consider Origins like a bad game? Like a
Yeah,
You know,
it's a bad
really?
game. It's a
Really, 'cause
bad
I
game.
think about that series and I'm like, while I would never pick to play that one first, like I would gladly if I was doing a series run of that series, I would never skip that
No,
one.
fuck the series.
It's not
You-
a terrible game, but it's not.
What if someone has never played an Arkham game except Origins? Is that a bad game?
That's a good question. I don't
What if
think it
they've
is.
never even heard of Batman Arkham and they're like, I really like Batman. What's this Arkham Origins game all about?
Yes, I like that hurts.
That's a good video game.
That hurts.
You know what that is, Crispy? It's a good video game.
What?
Arkham Origins on its own is a good video game.
It's an okay video game.
Hey, they can only
think-
go up.
Can you imagine? Okay, think for a second, if you will.
Revelations, Assassin's Creed
What?
Revelations.
What if?
Fuck you.
What if? No. What if the only Arkham game that existed was Arkham Origins? Would you be singing a different tune?
That's what I'm saying.
I feel like that's a game where it would. If that was all that existed, and that was like a standalone Batman game, and you play that, you'd still be like, holy shit, that was a great Batman game.
It's like Skyward Sword. There you go.
You're judging it purely based off by comparing
Okay.
it to the games around
You're
it.
talking about me though. You're talking about like a Batman.
But there's a lot
fan.
of people I think
Would
fall into
you
that
think
same
Batman
camp.
Arkham Origins was a good game if that was the only Batman game that existed, or would you be like, that game kind of sucked?
No,
I think that's absolutely
the core of. I mean, it would be a really good game.
I think a lot of the negativity in regards to Origins comes from comparing it to the other Arkham
But the
games.
same thing
It's
can be
still
said
a
of like
cool, like,
think of
open
Uncharted
world
3.
Game with cool combat and Metroidy elements.
But it doesn't
like,
have cool combat. It's got
It's the same
fucking
fucking
shot gloves and
It's the same
Okay.
fucking
and
combat.
QTE fucking boss
Where
fights.
who even made the shot gloves? Sorry,
All right, let's just
Let's
move
be
on.
fair though.
it's a good game.
If
It's a good game.
Uncharted 2 didn't even exist and all we had was Uncharted 3, nobody would sit here and be
True.
like that game wasn't good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Skyward Sword,
Yeah.
Same thing there.
Twilight Princess.
All right.
A lot of the Zelda games.
Moving on. That's it for the questions this week. Thanks you to all of our patrons. If you are a patron, all you got to do is go to our questions thread, which we post every week.
Every
Ask a
week.
question, whatever you want it to be. If we skip it, don't feel bad. Ask it again. If we skip it like 3 times, then maybe don't.
Maybe
ask
think of a different question.
Yeah. I don't think that's happened yet, though. But yeah,
How
I
come they
think,
never tell me what their penis sizes are?
we've answered that before. You just go back and find the podcast. So
I don't remember which number it is though.
You only got to sort through 447 of them.
I think it was right in the middle somewhere on like 200.
Maybe.
Zip Whippy episode.
So yeah, that's it. And once again, we mentioned it a little bit earlier, but in terms of community, this Saturday we're doing another community night in which we will be playing The Last of Us Factions. If you already own the game, maybe you don't own some of the DLC. There's a lot of like taunts and masks and weapons and stuff like that. All of that is on sale right now. For like up to like 60 something, maybe more % off, so at least half off. So if you don't own any of it, definitely think about picking some of it up. Yeah, join us on Saturday for the community night.
Brad, am I gonna have to take this ice pack away from you?
It's cool.
No, it's not.
I'm gonna join factions. Wait, is the game itself on sale?
Yeah,
How much?
I can double check if we can move on. To the
Somebody in
next topic.
chat
I thought it was
confirmed a while
only the
ago
PS3 version.
Said what, Nick?
that they checked the store and the Last of Us Remastered was updated with a sales price.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. I just don't know
price.
how much it is.
All right, so we're gonna close out with the 4-player minute in a second. Before we do that, we're gonna do a quick round of Geek Out with Crispy.
Yeah. Woo.
This is a little palate cleanser.
Ready? You ready?
We need like put sound effects in post, or
We're
like
actually working about it.
jingles,
We're working on that.
so we could stop going.
We're working on it. We are working. In fact, we'll talk about that tomorrow a little bit, briefly, ever so briefly. Let's do it, Crispy. It looks like you looked long and hard for these questions.
I found some okay ones.
What are we
found
going to
some
fight about
okay
today?
ones.
Let's do it.
Alrighty, who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Brad goes first. Brad, your challenge is 6 fictional towns in video games.
I can do 6.
Nick?
I can do 7.
I'll do 8.
I pass.
Can't do 9?
I'll do
You can't do
9.
I could do 9, but I'm not doing that.
I'll do 9.
You'll do 9? Will Nolan do 10?
Pass.
Nolan
Damn
Nolan
you.
passes on 10.
3, 2, 1, go.
Give us 9, Nick.
This is easy.
Nibelheim from Final Fantasy 7.
Do all the fun.
Can I do that?
No.
Oh, shit.
Is it one per game? It's not one
Oh.
per game. You could just start naming them. It doesn't matter.
Blam Garden in Final Fantasy 8.
Okay.
Luca in Final Fantasy 10. Let's go with Death Mountain, or let's go with Kakariko Village.
That
In
works
Ocarina
more
of
than
Time.
Death Mountain.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's at the whatever. Shut up. What did I have to go to?
No,
9.
It did say towns, not
Just
villages.
go.
Oh,
I'm joking. Just keep going. Just keep
You
going.
piece
Just
of
keep
shit.
going.
Raccoon City.
Okay.
God, this is gonna be one of those situations where I get.
Start thinking of game names, and they have towns. Don't look at the
Vice
walls.
City.
Don't look at the walls.
Don't look at the walls.
Don't look
Vice
at the walls.
City.
What am I at?
Wait,
6.
Resident Evil, Zelda. I'm
I already
saying
did
as you
those.
name them.
Silent Hill. I can't believe it took me
Silent
that
Hill.
long to remember that one.
In sync. Butcher bag.
Green.
Ceiling fan.
God,
Ever played a
guys, guys,
Pokemon
stop
game?
it! Stop it! You're tripping me out. What am I at? 7.
Yep.
I just need 2 more.
Ooh, that's a good one on that wall.
No, he's looking looking. That's cheating. Disqualified.
Rome.
Really?
From
Am I
Assassin's Creed.
Can you stop yelling things out?
If you can give me 2 more answers by the time I finish counting down from 10, you're not disqualified.
Yeah.
10, 9,
God,
8,
oh God, you're killing me
7,
here.
6, 5,
I can't think
4,
when you do that.
3,
Yeah, that does make it really
God, the
hard.
stress is killing me.
What's that one? Nick?
2,
Is this not a name?
The West.
0.5.
There's
the
lots
Wild
of
West.
towns.
I
in
know,
that.
but I can't. It's done. It's done.
0.3.
Like
I would have just stayed with
Armadillo.
I
Final
can't.
Fantasy
This
VII.
is why I can't play this game.
One.
I can't do this under pressure.
Yeah.
On the
I can't do
road
it.
to
When people are
Viridian
talking at you and
City.
counting, you can't think of
I
anything.
can't.
Make new friends along
Call
the
Midgar,
way.
Junin, Junin, Cosmo Canyon.
You told me I couldn't do any more
On
from
the
Final Fantasy
road
VII.
to
I would have named all 9 of them from Final
New
Fantasy VII.
LA.
Okay.
Whiterun, Novigrad, Pallet
You know,
Town,
See,
Los
I know
Santos.
all of those.
You know what, Nick? You gave us a very valiant effort, so we'll
Fuck
start
you.
with you on this one.
What?
Give me 2 video games in which a baby appears.
Oh,
I can do 2.
I'll do 3.
I'll do 4.
Pass.
I'll do 5.
I'll pass.
Son of a
5 video games in which a baby appears. Go.
Baby. I'm trying to. I can't think. I'm trying to think of the title now. What was the Xbox Live indie arcade game
I'm not saying.
where you give birth to your avatar?
I don't remember the name of that.
What was that game?
Does that
I don't
exist?
remember.
Yes, that game exists. I
Like
played
you
it so
birth your
much.
No,
you
look
birth
in the
your
chat.
Yes.
you birth your own avatar out of a vagina?
Yes.
That's horrible.
Okay, so I'll say Assassin's Creed 2.
Oh, yeah. Baby Ezio.
Ezio was born.
Yeah.
Baby Ezio.
Blood Rain,
So that's 1.
Yep, that's 1. How many do I have to do?
Super Smash
5.
Bros.
5.
Melee.
Okay. Okay. Hold on.
This game is fucked up.
Yeah, no, it is. Fuck. Oh,
Don't look at
Yoshi's
chat.
Island. Baby Mario.
Okay.
Um,
Definitely not an infant. I mean, you're lucky he's called Baby Mario.
Yeah.
he is called Baby Mario.
Capitalized baby, so it's proper babies.
Proper babies?
Proper babies.
Proper babies.
Stop saying answers in chat
Stop doing it, guys.
because that's real dumb.
Yeah.
You can always turn chat off on our end.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
change
we'll
chat.
just turn
Chat.
chat off.
Yeah.
You know, say-
so
say-
yeah, the Walking Dead does have a baby in it. That was a
Wait.
tough scene.
Did it?
Yes.
Like you see a baby?
Yes.
Okay.
The What's Her Face has a baby.
Um,
And I guess that's in season 2.
It's the baby
A season of The
born?
Walking Dead wouldn't
Oh,
be
yeah, yeah,
complete
yeah.
without a
Yeah,
baby.
no, yeah,
Yeah,
you're like
sure.
carrying a baby
it's a
around.
dingo and a baby.
All right. How many am I doing? 5?
5.
5.
Two more.
Okay. The Witcher, 3.
Now, were you thinking of the
Uma? No. What?
Are you thinking of the
No,
baby
Uma. Uma
that
doesn't
was haunting the Baron? Or are you thinking of the baby you throw in the fire?
Wait,
The-
those are different babies?
Yeah, it's-
Yeah.
Oh,
that's,
yeah.
that's like a ghost. It's not really like
No,
a
but there is
baby.
an
That was more
actual
like a fetus.
there is
Ghost-
an
a ghost
actual
baby?
baby.
It wasn't like what?
There's an actual baby you throw in a fire.
Name the baby.
Okay, fine. We'll give it to
my
you.
God.
One more.
Well, I'm still trying to think of the name of the indie game where you give birth to like.
Oh.
Halo.
What is that called?
I don't fucking know.
What is that called? All right, so sorry. Moving on. One more game with a baby in it. One more game. What's a game with a baby?
Chasm.
I don't know what that means.
That's a game.
Wonderful 101.
Oh, fuck you, Brad. Stop saying things. There's so many fucking games out there with babies in them.
There's also so many games out there with towns in them, but
Yeah.
you can,
What's a game I've played recently that had a baby?
7, 6.
I hate when he does that shit.
you see? It fucks everything up. Admit defeat.
No, never. Aren't there's babies?
I'm
in
pretty sure you
Zelda.
kill a baby in Hitman at least once.
Name a Zelda game with a baby. There's one that I would give you.
Wind Waker.
Nope. I would give you Twilight Princess.
I haven't played Twilight Princess.
Oh.
I haven't
Ever?
beaten it. Pretty sure there's a baby.
That's not 5.
I don't know the baby in.
That's
Wind
not
Waker.
5.
It's the one that's like swaddled in the.
I'm thinking of 2 games where you play as a baby.
Who's daddy? Who's your daddy?
That's
There you go.
toddler. That's not baby.
Oh
a
my
baby.
god.
He's wearing a diaper.
Yeah. Anyway, whatever. Fuck it. Move on.
That and Among the Sleepers.
All right.
on.
We played that.
All right.
One more.
Quickly.
One more.
Quickly.
Okay.
Quickly.
How about 2 video games with an art theme, Nolan?
2
I'll
video
name
games
2.
with an art theme.
I'll name 2.
What does that mean? Art. Theme?
Art.
Will you do 3, Brad?
We'll say art. It means art.
As like a theme within the game?
I don't know what that means.
We'll say any sort of like.
I'll do it too.
How about any of like the. If it's like an arts program in a school, it's art.
I'll do 3. Oh wait, well
I was gonna do 3.
okay.
I'm thinking like high school, not like
Gotcha.
college level.
I could do 3.
All right, pass. Come on, Nolan.
What was that?
I don't know what that
Did
was.
Chris Davis fall asleep?
He just had an old man groan.
You said 3? Mm-hmm. I guess I'll do 4.
Damn it. I pass.
God damn it, son of a bitch.
Come on, Nolan.
Okay.
I could try, but like there's no stakes here.
Yeah, there's no stakes.
We need to figure something out.
What is
You don't want to try just to have fun?
I mean, it's not an easy one.
what is the, I can't remember the name of the game now. The unfinished swan. The
Yeah, there you go.
Unfinished swan.
That's,
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
That's a good one. I didn't think of that one.
Yeah.
I did.
Art themes.
There's a recent one. Can we give like subtle hints?
No.
Yes. It's 11:15.
Yeah.
You can give all the hints you want.
Would you like me to try for 4?
Yes, you go for 4, Brett.
All right.
I
Definitely think
rescind.
unfinished one. Layers of Fear.
Yeah.
That's
Talked
about
about
art.
last week.
Yeah.
What about Tag: The Power of Paint?
Sure. That's art. Yeah.
Okay.
Paint is art.
And one more. Mario
Goes-
64.
Yep, there we go. That's
Yeah,
the one.
I was thinking that. Then I started like I was thinking like Splatoon.
Oh, Okami. That's wait. No.
Okami, I think-
Okami works.
I-
Okami
yeah, I feel
absolutely
like-
works.
Yeah, because you're painting
Art,
with the
painting
brush.
Mark Echo's Get Up or.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah, Jet Set Radio.
Yeah, Jet Set Radio.
There's a lot.
yeah.
Actually, yeah, there's a lot more than I.
It's a dumb
than I
question.
realized.
How do you define art?
Yeah.
Oh,
What?
we are not
What
having that.
was it?
conversation.
Epic Mickey.
Oh yeah.
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 There's a lot of good answers to that one. All right.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna wrap up at the 4-player minute, as we always do. Let's make it a quick one, guys. Let's keep it to a minute. Hype, sweat, fuck you, and thank you of the week. Brad, go.
Fuck you goes to Quick Play. Fuck you. You got bodied.
By Brad.
By Brad. My sweat goes to myself while I'm still playing Street Fighter. That will forever be my sweat until I finally decide to give up on it. Did order a arcade stick converter. Should be here in the next couple of days.
So it's getting real, is what you're saying.
Well, I mean, if it works, if the thing works flawlessly, I'm gonna keep playing. If it doesn't work, I'm probably gonna drop Street Fighter because I'm kind of done with the pad. My thank you for this week goes to I guess I'll give it to Urban Hitman, who just gifted me a game to play. It was Urban Hitman, right? Urban Hitman. Fistful of Guns. I don't know what that's all about, but maybe it'll be fun. And my fuck you.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck you.
No,
for this,
fuck you is quick play.
My fuck you of this week goes to IO Interactive and Square Enix because what are you doing?
mine.
You can't make a proper sequel to Blood Omen. I mean, Bloodborne.
Or Blood Omen.
Blood Money. You can't make a sequel to Blood Money and then shit the bed in all these ways we weren't expecting. What the fuck?
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. You done?
Yep.
Good. Shut up. All right.
Hype is No Man's Sky.
I had 2 hypes for this week. My first hype is for Daredevil Season 2.
Yep.
A couple of us are getting together this weekend to watch it. I'm pretty excited.
We should be able to get at least one popcorn cast out for it.
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't let me down.
We're not going to be able to, unfortunately,
Poop sock it, yeah.
sock the whole thing like last time.
Nope.
But we will watch like 4 or 5 episodes and then record a popcorn cast.
My other hype goes for the Factions Community Multiplayer Night. Playing all the Uncharted open stress tests and whatever really got me in the mood for Factions, and I'm really excited to play it. It's one of those games where even though it's when it first was big, I was playing it all the time. And it's kind of like we all kind of dropped off and stopped playing it. But I'm glad that we can still go back to it every once in a while and get a few rounds in just because it's still enjoyable. Mm-hmm. My sweat goes to, I don't know how to say it, Senran Kagura. Estival versus.
Sweat.
I'm gonna be playing more of that. Yeah, we don't have a shame. If we had a shame, it would go to that. I don't know.
Your sweaty shame.
Like it feels
Dirty.
yeah,
Shameful,
like I
disgusting.
don't know.
Vile.
Yeah, and then
Perverted.
yeah, my fuck you is going to Square IO. Whoever decided to do all the it's one of those things where it's like everything they were saying, they were like, this is going to be the sequel to Hitman you've all wanted. This is going to be like Blood Money. This is gonna and they were right. And then they throw all this little shit at us that kind of fucks it over.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Could have been so much better.
Crispy?
Alrighty, my hype is for No Man's Sky, and I actually have a reason for it this week because somebody leaked out some screenshots of like how the actual dialogue system is going to look and work, and it looks pretty cool. The alien designs that they've shown are pretty interesting. One of them's like a fucking TV-headed alien. It looks really weird. I can't wait. Oh, looks cool. My sweat is for Fire Emblem Fates. Only because I have my copy of Birthright at home and it is still plastic wrapped.
Why?
I haven't had time to start playing.
It's always time, Brad.
It's
always time.
It's time. We're all just slowly hurtling towards infinity, you know. My what was that? Hope sweat. My fuck you for the week goes to I don't know, Brad for
That's rude.
For Street Fighter.
What?
I'm so fucking sick of hearing about
That was
Street Fighter.
Fuck you for talking about Street Fighter. That's
Sorry.
The classic fighting game series.
Sorry, Brad. And my thank you for the week goes to... I didn't think of one, so I don't know, buddy.
I mean, why don't you just give us salt for the week since you're clearly salty?
Okay.
What are you salty about? Besides Street Fighter, I mean. Something else you're salty about.
Something I'm salty about?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. South by Southwest.
So.
Ugh.
Thanks, Obama.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
Jesus.
All right. My hype. You know what? Fuck it. I have nothing but hype this week. I am officially hyped for Salt and Sanctuary. I've kind of been thinking about it, watching the footage, hearing y'all talk about it. Got me really fucking excited to
It's
play
good.
that. So yes, I'm I'm almost done with Far Cry Primal. So as soon as I'm done with that, I'm gonna jump straight into Salt and Sanctuary. That'll be my side game. My second hype, believe it or not, is No Man's Sky. Finally got around to reading through and listening to some of the coverage from that event.
Right.
Sounds good. Now that I'm starting to form a picture of what that game actually is. I'm excited. I'm excited enough that I pre-ordered it.
There you go. Let's look for each other.
Okay, buddy,
In the
let's just
vast
do it.
galaxy.
That's our goal. If we could all play No Man's Sky and just
find each other.
If one of us can find another person from this group, I think we'll be fine. My next hype is Daredevil season 2. I just finished rewatching season 1. Still a fucking excellent series. You know what? On a side note, fuck you, Netflix. What is up with that show still not being available on Blu-ray or DVD or anything? It's literally been a year, still not available.
It's available on Netflix.
There you go.
Yeah, but whatever. It's dumb.
I heard that they're releasing a Blu-ray, but you have to be connected to the internet to watch
Fuck you, Nolan. My fuck you goes to Nolan. And you know what? One more hype out there. You know, I gotta mention Jason Bourne. Still fucking hyped as shit.
it. Even after seeing Baby Matt Damon.
Even after seeing Baby Matt Damon.
Baby Damon.
He's probably real salty about that. Anyways, that's our show this week, guys. Thank you so much for listening. I'm sorry we were a little bit late tonight. We had some technical difficulties, but
Fallout 4 had a baby.
What?
Yeah, that's true.
Who had a baby?
So did Fallout 3.
A lot of games. Most games probably have a baby in some shape or form.
Dark Souls.
Spyro. Baby game.
Crash Bandicoot.
There we go.
But babies that you actually see.
Hitman.
Spyro's a baby.
Spyro.
Thank you for listening, guys. We will.
Yeah.
We hope you guys will join us. Oh, that's a sweat. I'm worried about Super Metroid.
South Park.
You should be.
Stick of Truth had a giant Nazi baby.
No, of course. There we go.
Halo had a baby.
There we go. Anyways,
Bloodborne.
thank you, of course, for listening to the show. Hopefully, you will join us this weekend for the community on Saturday, the mini Project M on Sunday with Crispy and I'll be playing Metroid, Super Metroid. That'll be a lot of fun. We hope you tune in at 4pp.tv. Of course, you can watch us broadcast games every single night at that same location. And we'll see you next Tuesday for another podcast. Peace out.